Okay, everybody, it's time. Are you ready? I want to see some hype in the chat. I want to see some pen lights, some emotes. Hello. Hello, everybody. You think you're ready? Think harder. We haven't done this in a while. I'm nervous. We've been wanting this 2.1 forever. Oh my god. I'm so nervous, chat. I'm so nervous. I'm gonna reveal little by little, okay? Oh no, there's two chats on top of each other. Hold up. There's some scuffers. 1 sec. Okay, it's fixed. I planned everything, chat. Don't worry about this. Just a little scuff. Okay. I'm gonna start with the feet. I got some really skinny feet. Oh! What's this? Some jingles? Must be an I mean, could be. You guys been wanting that, you know, a horse style model. I did ask my model mama to make me more Uma-like this time. Ooh, I'm showing feet for free right now. In this economy, I've been on a diet. I lost a lot of weight. Yep. I can do, you know, I can exercise with this. Some ankles. Are you guys hyperventilating? Like a Victorian man seeing some ankles? Cute little dress. Oh, this outfit looks kind of familiar. Oh. You love your horse tin? Oh! Oh, I showed a bit too much. A little booba slip here. Oh! Biblically accurate. Whoa! Whoa! What? What are those? What do you mean, what are those? They're my badonkas. Ayo? I need to stop skipping leg day. I've been working the top side a little too hard. What? Thank you, David Martinez. Thank you. And Bob Maris, thank you for the Akasupa. I saw this in the waiting room. Thank you, you're the GOAT. Okay. I guess since I got a super chat, I'll reveal a little more. Whoa. Alright. What's it gonna... Oh shit! I had a little slip up. I mean, yeah, the protein's gonna go there. Yeah, hell yeah, I can lean. What do you mean? This is a full model. You skipped arms and leg day? No. I'm... Oh no! Oh no! What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Okay, I'm ready to take the plunge. Can you guys hold my hand? Alright, hold my hand, chat. This is happening. Finally, the one and only super villain of the world. Totally democratically elected president, right, chat? She's here! Rema Evenstar! What's up, chat? I bet you didn't expect that. What? You called it? It's perfection! It's got all the perfect proportions that you'd want in a horsewoman. You saw this and you said, it's beautiful, didn't you? You're speechless? From being so starstruck, right? Yeah, this is Rema Evenstar DLSS5. I love democracy! Thank you, Last Stanza. I'm glad you like it. Yeah. So, imagine the fan art, the ships. It could happen. Hey Monkey, back in the 19s, she was in a really famous show. Wait, which one? The Bondak Horseman one, or whatever it's called? I'm having too much fun with this. And listen, at least there's the jiggle physic where it matters. Oh, Mr. Ed? I've never watched this show. I don't know. Look at me in the eyes, chat. Let's make some eye contact. Oh my god, Reba face reveal! Yes, it's like Subaru's face reveal. The guy who said would, did you change your mind? No, he didn't. Guy who said would, speak up. You didn't change your mind, did you? Or this thing will come and haunt you at night. You wouldn't want that, would you? Paper Rema is good, but 9 butts Rema is superior. Really? We'll see about that. By the end of the stream, I might change your mind. Man of his word. No worries, Sarah. I wonder what Uncle Rogers would think of this model. I am trying. What do you mean? I am trying to flex. Who wouldn't flex with this model? Huh? Wouldn't you flex with this model? You know who made this model, by the way? It's Elijah, the Polish cowgirl. She is a woman of many talents. She gave me this human form. She cursed me. And I'll only be able to turn back to my regular normal form. If what chat? If what chat? We need a goal. If you guys make it rain! I feel like that'll create the opposite effect, because you guys would probably want me to stick with this. Bitches. Wow! Flora Nova! Thank you for the super chat. To the chatter questioning my resolve, I stand by my words. Hardwood! Let's fucking go! I love doing this. It's kind of dizzying. Flora Nova, you're stunning, Rima. Please don't haunt us. You bet. If you can't boil water... Did I tell you guys that I actually evaporated water again? The other day? You gotta dance to make it rain? I'm dancing. I'm dancing right now. Thank you, David Martinez, for taking one for the team. Yeah, Lulu Lasso is my jokey, yeah. Again? I think I said it in chat. Rariobi, thank you for membership. You heard her, guys. Make it rain for the clops. Yeah. I'd be more surprised if you didn't burn your cereals. How do you guys do your cereals? Do you put the milk first, like I do? And my sound effects didn't work. RIP. This is canon Rema. This is Origin 0 Rema. Yeah, milk first, and then sometimes I warm up my cereals a bit too in the microwave. I like when they're mushy. This looks like something from a horror movie? Oh, come on. You'd give me a hug if you saw me IRL. Where's the belly button? Well, I wasn't born from a human mother. I wasn't woman born. Horses don't have belly buttons. Mushy cereals utterly depraved? Listen, you think these teeth don't like mushy stuff? Hi, first time in your stream, what did I join into? I'm so sorry. Listen, there's a really popular peanut VTuber right now. I could be the next thing. Love the new model, Rema. Thank you so much, Nico. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, this is a perfect first time for... You know, you gotta give a good impression in live chat. It's like when you go to an interview, you gotta give it your all. Wait, all mammals have belly buttons? Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think I've ever seen a belly button on a horse. Hey, I don't have a belly button, but at least I can belly dance. Horses do have a belly button. Well, in the world that I'll build, there will be no belly buttons on horses. Loving the Uma Musume crossover. Well, thank you. I'm the next Tachyon. You know how she hunts? She still hunts the horse race? I'll be hunting it too, but in another way. What the fuck is that model? It's literally everything you wish for, but you know what they say. Not everything you wish for is actually what you want. I don't know how to feel right now. I'll tell you how to feel. You need me to tell you how to feel and think. Haunting, not hunting. Yeah, that's what I said. I said haunting. I need you to feel an immense amount of awe and love from me right now. Xbox mic? Wait, does my mic sound like an Xbox mic? How much you use this model in your next documentary video? Oh shit. Let me think, chat. How much? Should I use this for my next documentary video? What if I use this for an ad read? You think the sponsor will hate me? That'll be funny. I definitely want to use this for at least a few React videos. I think this model is very expressive. So why the long face? Well, listen, I've been cursed by Alicia to take this form. Thankfully, she at least, you know, made me keep some of my assets. The assets are very important, because how else am I gonna amass bonds to turn back into a human? At least I can sell my body like this. In the Philippines, we call that creature tigbalang. Is it a creature that brings you luck? I just got here and spilled my drink. Horsehead, you're not auntie. I see you there, Snake. No, I'm not a dairy. Well, I'm a little tsundere. That's it. Look, chat. I'll use this model for my Warhammer React. And all the new Warhammer viewers that are coming into my channel, to see me react to Warhammer lore are just gonna be so traumatized by this. You look like an analog horror cartoon. Well, if I scare others, I can't be scared. Wait, I have an idea. Hold up. What if I bust out this model next time Mr. X comes for me? He might actually run away. He might actually run away. You are like a Slanesh demon? Wait, so the Warhammer people will like this? This model is Grimdark compatible? Hi, Iltepa. Yeah, I'll do it for Mr. X. I mean, this model will make me feel more safe for sure. You know what happened this morning? Biblically accurate Rema avatar of sheep who thirsts. Thank you, David Martinez. Thank you so much for the super chat. You guys know what happened today? So, well, on top of this curse, which is very unlucky, but I'll find a way through it because I always persevere. I woke up to a very grand betrayal in the server this morning. So I woke up, okay, and for some reason, the PFP of my Discord server was hijacked. And my server was hijacked by the council, the moderators, who apparently escaped my basement. They've escaped their prison and taken over the Discord. That's right. They're in open revolt right now. This is treason. They changed the PFP to a horse PFP. And they renamed the server name, which was meant to be, you know, scary and intimidating. It was called Rema's World Domination Server, to frickin', you know what they changed it? They changed it to frickin' Rema's Bottom Domination Server. Guards! Arrest them! This is messed up! Oh, super chats. Now, she actually is a horse. We're going to have to start calling her a different animal. Rema is my favorite Andine marsupial tree frog VTuber. What the hell? You just invented that. But thank you for the super chat. This makes the betrayal land sweeter. I'm in a better mood already. Beautifully balanced. All things should be. Yeah, I mean, this is like when they saw like Sukuna with like his 6 arms and his 3 mouths, and they were like, beautiful, he can chant curses way better. Stop! Viva la Mode, stop! Mute them! Ban them! It's not lore accurate! I'm not like a bottom destroyer, that's crazy! Don't VIP him! Of course you're not a bottom destroyer, lol. No, I'm not a power bottom, I'm just powerful. Powerful. Period. No, the mods have no rights. Nobody expects a mod inquisition. They also all changed their names. Trolls. No, it's not a big L model. You guys are hating. It's got everything you need. A horse head. Beautiful purple eyes that you can stare into. You know, they say the eyes are the windows to the soul. I feel like you can look into my eyes pretty well. And I can squat with this model. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See? Never skip leg day, chat. And it's got the boobas. As much boobas as my regular model. Can I do the 6-7? Let me check. Let me try. Okay, hold on. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. 6-7! Okay, it's kind of hard. 6-7! 6-7! Did we capture all the mods yet? Cavalry? Please stop. 6-7! 6-7! 6-7! Okay, I'm having too much fun. 6-7! 6-7! 6-7! 6! Okay, I'm having way too much fun with this. I'm literally a kid. What is wrong with me? Jesus Christ. That's it, time to mute stream. Don't! Arrest him! Yeah, honestly, I could do the Wii Fit game with this. Very good. 6-7! Somebody asked me to do the 6-7 again in chat, so I had to do it. It's not my fault. I see 6-7, I do 6-7. 6-7! Okay, it's the last one. It's the last one, I swear. I won't do it anymore. Can you play Beat Saber with this avatar? Oh, for sure. I can do anything with this avatar. I could probably 1v1 Sukuna. It's a wonderful Sunday. It's not even Sunday. One more time. 6-7. Oh, thank you. Barrel Bob. Thank you for the 6-7. I could beat up Parrot with that form. Get him in here. Somebody get a hold of Parrot. I'm gonna punch him with his sticky arms. It's true, this model is like a buffet. There is something for everybody. For those who want the horse head, it's here. For those who want the boobas, it's here. For those who want the midriff, it's here. I always suspected. Suspected what, Royal Onion? Don't keep us in suspense. Suspected what? You were sussing me? You saying you were sussing me? Whatever Kimchi did in chat, it actually looks like me. I am a sussy baka. Need VTuber connoisseur to evaluate my real feet? Oh, VTuber connoisseur hasn't seen my leg on my other model. He would like those ones. Can you play Fortnite in this outfit using Tung 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 Sahur? I don't know this character. And I've never played Fortnite. It looks too complicated. Although chat really wants to make me a gamer, apparently. I'm getting into my gamer arc. Tomorrow, I'm going to finish Resident Evil 2. Okay, maybe not tomorrow. Well, I'll be playing Resident Evil 2. And maybe I'll finish it the day after. If everything goes well and I don't get lost. Is this Uma Musume? Yes, it is! Yes, it is! And if you send me enough money, another horse girl might pop out in the screen. It's a gacha. It's the same as Uma Musume. I'd like to report on horse Ari feeding for free. No, no. No, I would never. I would never. I don't even play RE anymore. I play the Twin Point now. Yeah, Fortnite is not a gamer game. My chat's already decided. They've already mapped out the roadmap of all the games I'm going to play. We're going to play Resident Evil 2, then 4, maybe 6 with another VTuber, and then 9, and then the Yakuza game, and then... Okay, I forgot. I forgot what's next. My head doesn't have enough RAM for that, although for some reason it's the biggest part of my body. What if it's a gacha? Did we get a bad pool? What do you mean a bad pool? This is art! And art's beauty is in the eye of the holder. Maybe your eyes are just bad. Have you ever considered that? Oh yeah, we're also playing Dispatch. What is Me Too? Now, we're not playing the Me Too movement. That's in the past. That was during COVID. What is Claire Run? Oh yeah, we're playing Mass Effect 2. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. I'm also supposed to react to the cutscenes of something that I forgot what it was. Also, I have a collab on Saturday with Aurelia, and she's going to teach me about the Warhammer lore. So my one homework for the stream, before the stream ends, is that I need to finish that Bricky faction video. Don't forget Dark Souls. You guys want to see me suffer? Do we actually have to play Dark Souls? I already have the massive chest. Then you guys want me to play Elden Ring? But I'm gonna fucking rage in Dark Souls. Thank you, Dima. Well, since YouTube keeps demonetize me, I've had to, you know, cut some budget on some parts of the model, but I think at least we focus the money on the good parts. The important ones. The arms and legs had to go, though. I will literally rage quit Dark Souls. Every time I've seen somebody play that game, they look like they were suffering. Call this model Rema perfected. Somebody who has a vision. Thank you. The feet. I mean, the feet are there. They're cute. Oh my gosh, what did I join into? You joined into perfection! Yeah, it's a work of art. Absolute cinema. Talking about absolute cinema. The last JJK episode was so fucking good, chat. I love the Utah fight. It was so good. No, I don't really play old 80s and 90s one, except like, you know, the Pokemon stuff. Rima, thank you for this absolute memeable model. It's cinema? Why is... Wait, what is Reiko up to? I don't trust him. Somebody's complimenting my model while everybody else is roasting my model. This is suspicious. Highly suspicious. What? What'd you do? You made so many memes! What the fuck? What have you done? Oh my god. Draco, what the fuck? Memes. Oh, my model's taking too much space. It's like hard because it keeps fucking moving. What is this last middle thing I have? What? Okay, whatever. RTX off, RTX on, NVIDIA DLSS 5? What the hell? Weight distribution so good, I'm leaning sideways. I'm not just leaning sideways, I'm leaning straight forward in this meme. Egg's gonna get- never mind. See, I told you, X would be scared of me. Lore accurate brain size. Wow. Wow. Wow, low blow. Peanut. Did I give you this idea because I said peanut VTuber? What's next? The let's fight somewhere empty meme? Bitch ass. Dude, he like made 5 fucking... I have hired this ditto to transform into Rema Evenstar and stare at you. Okay. Okay, whatever, chat. Whatever. Anybody else? Anybody else wants to meme me? Hey guys, did Rema change models? I can't tell. There was a few, you know, subtle tweaks. But also, like, look what they did! Oh wait, it's hidden by chat. Look what they did! They changed my fucking PFP, and they named the server Rema's Bottom Domination. Fucking degenerate. This is degeneracy. It's immoral. I can't believe you guys would do this to your most Seso Oshi VTuber. Yeah, I did get taller when I stand up straight. What is this fucking ad, by the way? The last middle? Why is Discord giving me ads? I hate this. Did they add that? Okay, I removed it. Nice. They just like increased my Nitro subscription. It's $14 a month now. Why do you love the new Discord? We've added a lot of stickers and gifts to the Discord, by the way. My favorite is Rima Yas. Why do you Chrome have Discord colors? No, it's not Discord colors. It's the other way. It's Discord who has Rima colors. And Chrome who has Rima colors. It's my branding. It's purple. Yes, they lied, Flora Nova. What the hell? It's not even a question. You're like 40% away from being an MLP character. Why 40%? Which parts do I need to be more MLP? By the way, if you guys want to join the Discord server, it's discord.gg/Rema. Make sure to join. I know why you like the model. Finally a face reveal! Yeah! Is everybody that's gonna come in be like, what the fuck is this? The balloons under the ribbon? I mean, that's the part that the MLP fandom will like the most, MO. I've seen their Rule 34. They're into some degenerate stuff. Do you guys think I could infiltrate the furry fandom with this? Like, imagine the video. I've infiltrated the furry fandom. I went in there undercover. Don't look, Auntie. What do you mean? Don't look where? I was speechless from JoJo to this. I'm not surprised anymore. Wait, were you there in our watch along? Bombastic side eye? I can do a side eye. Look. Reiko! Did I do it? What about this? I'm side-eyeing right now. This model is tiring to act out, y'all. You could definitely go undercover in the MLP fandom. Yeah, but what about the furry fandom? Nice. I love the Golden Wind season, Scotty. I don't know how we're gonna do next watch along though. It might, but I'm not sure. It might be. Make sure to join the Discord so you know when the next watch along is. I think you can, but you need a fursona. What? This is my fursona. What do you mean? This is it. This is my fursona. Hi, Ice Daddy. How you been? Why aren't my JoJo sound effects working? Hold up. The fuck? I'm gonna play it again. No. Yeah, that's weird. Fuck. Yeah, the sound effect stopped working. At least the Tangia still works. This is my person, not my fursona? What's a person? I'm starting to get a neck ache with this, not gonna lie. Why, T-Borg? Thank you for the one gifted. Oh. Thanks for the Kirby redeem. Yeah. A horse is a horse. And thus, the fox slander has been laid to rest. Thank you. Ice Daddy! Thank you for the gifted! Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Why? Are you that hairy, Hiena? Whoa, 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 whoa! Why is it on my feet? Get it off! Get it off my feet! Each passing day, I learn more about the new furry community. I try my best to understand them more than judge. Oh, I judge them more than I understand them. That's way more fun. Yeah, Kirby wants them sticks. Oh god. What the hell is this abomination? Bauta. You guys are so silly. Bauta infiltrate the brony fandom. Hashtag undercover clops. I mean, yeah. Dude, this is like all the K-pop dramas. Or like all the animes where the characters, they change like one element. Like they put on a pair of eyeglasses and suddenly nobody recognizes them. It's gonna be me with the mask. Papa Mutt's handiwork? No, it's actually Alicia, the Polish cowgirl VTuber, who made this model. Oh. Wait, does Papa Mutt make, like, models like this? Really? Like horse models? This stream during my time at work, oh my god. Wait, one of my mods just came in. I thought I'd throw you back into the basement, Mr. Aquarake. After your revolt this morning. Little dipshit. He makes extremely high quality models like yours? Oh! How nice! Yeah, it's all a Cyclop. I agree. We drink some water, chat. Horses need a lot of water. You know what we should do? We should do a meme review stream. And up and down and up and down and what is the other way around? And up and down and up and down. We could do an exercise stream with this model. All we need now is Rainbow Dash False ID. Oh yeah, and we could do a horse race. The model is limitless. Yeah, it's like Gojo's the mini expansion. Limitless Void. No arms, no legs, just horse and poopa. I mean, yeah, not wrong. Can we remove Discord perms to Reiko or something? Time him out. Time him out. Remove his rights. Rema, did you aid the horse or something? I've become the horse. I've been cursed. I've been cursed into this form. I must be kissed by a chatter to return to my human form. So who will it be? Which one of you? Don't line up at all at the same time, please. That's hey! Get on my feet! Alright. Not all at once, but who will kiss me so I can return back to my human form and break the curse? No thanks, I'm good. Chat! What the fuck? It's for a good fucking cause, what do you mean? No one? No! Stop it, Kirby! The feet kiss won't work! I'll never turn back to my human form, won't I? This is the end for me. You'll take one for the team? It's not supposed to be a sacrifice! All the other streamers got people lining up, what do you mean? If I don't get kissed, I'll stay stuck in DLSS 5 mode. No busy today, sorry. Acceptance is important. I don't know about that. A lot of people spend their life on copium. Why couldn't I do this too? Remember Shrek being not human was the good thing? Fucking Shrek. pay me first or you pay me? You pay me. Stupid Bosch, stupid fucking Bosch, go away. I'll do it, I'll give you a kiss because what I know you were nice. Alright, give me a kiss on my horse nose. Ooh, Whitey Borg! Thank you for the gifted sub to Nochi Pochi. Thank you for the Twitch gifted. And Nan! Kiss is illegal according to Psy Games, so I can't. Thank you, Roscoe. I'll give you a chocolate kiss. Will that count? Well, I'll take the chocolate kiss. I don't know if it'll count for breaking the curse, but I guess I'll stay like this for a little longer for now. I can't let you break the curse. I'll play Elite Defense. You're gonna throw yourself between us? Actually insane. Insane. Oh, I'll take the sugar cube. I like sugar cubes. I like sugar cubes. I like them even more when I'm in this one. I could use something sweet right now. This chat is perma salty. Oh my god, what is this? What is this, Reiko? Why are you like this? Oh my god. Kiss me so I can become normal again. Fuck. Cricket sounds. Fuck. Oh wait. It's because I get the kiss. And then I become... The normal is the horse. I get it. Ah, I get it. It's a stupid fucking meme. It's a stupid fucking meme, Reiko. Don't ever cook again. Yeah, the frills on my stomach, there's... No, the beige part is skin, not the frills. I'm always 5 steps ahead. It's not kind of funny, Chad. Don't encourage him. He's already full of himself. Mate, I'd eat Reiko's cooking all day despite him being British. If this is what he serves. Reiko made us guess what his favorite food is for like 15 minutes. And then his favorite food didn't end up being a dish. It ended up being an ingredient. Who the hell has an ingredient as your favorite food? It was so stupid. So I don't know if you want to eat what he serves. Algroza, also, like, you're just... Your brain's cooked from all the gacha gambling you've been doing lately. Yeah, no, we're banning Reiko from the meme channel. Where is it? Alright, nothing. Don't... Who did this? Rema Kekold. Reacted by I Need a Hand. Also, why is it called Kekold? It sounds like Rema Cuckold. Okay, that's 1000% fair. Why don't you instead invest in this gacha? The gacha that's on screen right now. Time for more Rema ads. Yamero! I didn't know BoJack Horseman was a woman. Well, yeah. It's like the Ariana Grande song, God is a Woman. Everything's a woman. Probably better than what you're serving? I don't know what I'm serving right now. It's pretty good. And we got a new lick emote too on the Twitch side. Those who have Twitch submissions, I want to see some lick emotes in chat. That's how delicious I am. And my cooking and what I'm serving. Dude, what I serve is good. I can do some cooking that I don't burn. The other day I did some rice and some mincemeat. It came in this very weird packaging. I've never seen something like this before. It came into this I'm gonna try to find a photo of it. It was like wrapped. It was wrapped like a sausage. Oh yeah. I found it. Open image. Okay, so usually it's like, you know, wrapped like the one on the left. But this time, like, I bought it because it was on sale. And everything's so fucking expensive now. It was wrapped like a sausage. And then I had to push it out like toothpaste. Didn't you destroy it? That was a long time ago at this point. Like a month ago or more. Thanks for the Rema baby emote. I like this one. There is... What do you mean you'll invest in a gacha if there's fan service? I'm giving you fan service right now. What do you think this is? This is literally fan serving. Like, how much more fan serving can this be? Cough up now. Corporate needed to find a difference between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture. Wait. Hold up. You kind of cooked in this one. This one's kind of... Wait, we actually do look similar. Hold up now. We actually... Hold up, I do look like BoJack Horseman. We do look similar. That's crazy. That's what I would like. That's what I would look like if I could face the front. BoJack Evenstar. No way. What if I give you guys my best super villain laugh, but with this model? Hello, Mezicor. How's it going? What do you mean don't forget the glue? Is this a threat? You'll give us nightmare? Ha 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 ha! Okay, that was a bad laugh. I need to work on my evil laugh a little bit. And my world domination plan. They're on pause right now because of inflation. Can I make my eyes look like in front of me? I can't. Fuck. I keep looking cross-eyed. Oh, I did it. No, it's not the bottom domination plan. I mean... No. No. I considered it for a sec and no. Yeah, domination doesn't pay for itself. You want the rest of the world to become submissive and breedable. Love the new model, Rema. Oh my god, thank you. I'm so glad you like it. I'm so glad you like it. I greatly debated on what model. My other option, I was thinking to bust out Rema 1.0, but I needed to use this. It's too good. Reiko, that's a rhetorical question. Rima, how does a bottom make people submissive? That's a rhetorical, philosophical, Shakespearean question, okay? Even if I did... Even if I did explain it to you, I don't think you have the intellect to follow my answer, okay? So just forget about it. Anyway, I do... I do want to watch this one video called the RimWorld Review. Or the the Masquerade Bloodline Review. And the Warhammer faction video. That was a little evil. There you go. There you go. I'm getting into my role as super villain. Yeah, Seth, I just discovered his videos because my community made me, well, send me some. It's very funny. I just opened up the stream. What am I staring at? You're staring into my souls. Are you looking into my eyes? VTM review sounds fun. What's the VTM? Oh, Vampire the Masquerade? I really like this guy's channel. Like, his humor is great. I just uploaded on Patreon the react that I did to Crusader Kings 2. He made a Crusader Kings 2 video. I fucking love that game. It was so funny. Yes, Alicia, make this model. You recognized it. Whenever somebody mentions VTMB, somebody ends up installing the game again somewhere. Okay, so I haven't played that game though, so I might not get all the reference. You guys will have to explain them to me. And RimWorld kind of sounds like... That kind of sounds like my name. So maybe we'll watch that after. Okay, let's do it.
Tonight, I'll be covering one of my favorite RPGs, a cult classic that brings you back no matter how many times you finished it. Do you love shopping at Hot Topic? Do you hate natural sunlight? Have you ever wanted
to... There's no Hot Topic here, but I've been to a Hot Topic in Las Vegas once, and I kind of liked it. And I could maybe find a Pippa t-shirt there. Do I hate sunlight? Well, in my bedroom, it's like all goth-like interior, and I have like sun, how do you call it? Like sun cutting, like black curtains that are very goth, so yeah. Also, is the sound good or is it too loud of the video?
To suck off the homeless? If you answered yes to any of those, then I know exactly the game for you. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, released in 2004 by Troika Games. Bloodlines takes place in modern-day LA, but our story begins in the Old Testament. So, to understand...
I love vampires, they're so sexy!
...understand the lore, I'll need you all to whip out your Bibles and flip to Genesis 4. Remember Cain and Abel? In the Bible, the two brothers made offerings to God. Abel offered the Lord some lamb chops. Cain gave him some Weetabix or some shit. Naturally, God liked Abel's offer a lot more. So Cain disabled his brother by murdering him with a fucking rock. God was very unhappy with Cain for killing his brother. Nah, God doesn't give a shit. Cain's crime was murdering his brother and then having the audacity to lie to God. In the Bible, God punishes Cain to...
Look looks like he was gonna give him a high five. My head's in the way? Okay, fine. Well, do we want... I don't know how to do this. Do we want the legs or not? I guess I'll just do this. But then sometimes my head goes out of the way.
Wander the earth. In Vampire the Masquerade, God punishes Cain by giving him superpowers.
Cain,
Goku!
for crimes against your creator and your fellow man, I sentence you to immortality. I'm also giving you super speed and super strength. You can also turn invisible. Would you like to polymorph as well? Sometimes I like to turn into a burning bush and scare the shit out of Moses.
Anyway, God turns Cain into the first vampire. The only downside, he can't walk in the light and he has to drink the blood of others to survive.
Wait, so vampires are actually canon. So I could become a vampire. That's actually my dream.
God's true punishment is giving Cain the ability to sire children, but with immortality, the only thing left to fear is death itself. That fear becomes paranoia, jealousy, hatred, not for humans, but for your own kind, and that fear ends up consuming you. Just as Cain murdered his brother, he is now forced to watch for all eternity as generations of his own children murder each other. Where do you come into all of this? You're a random schmuck who gets embraced against your will in a seedy LA hotel. When you wake up, you're a vampire. But before you get comfortable, the Camarilla boys break in, stake for both of you, and ship you off to vampire court. Turns out, siring vampires without permission is a big no-no and a violation of a masquerade, which is basically a loose set of rules to keep mortals from finding out about the supernatural, and from realizing that Vladimir Tepes was, in fact, a high-level Tsimisi who turned Romanians into dining chairs. Because if humans ever found out, that's a guaranteed death sentence for every vampire on Earth. The judges make their verdict. Your sire gets decapitated by Magilla Gorilla, the African muscle man behind Sebastian LaCroix, Camarilla Prince of LA. And you're next on the chopping block. Oh well, at least you got laid. However, Nines Rodriguez, leader of the LA Anarchs, protests against your immediate execution, suddenly struck with a flood of emotion.
Is that me? I've got pretty good cheekbones. To be fair, the Sun thing isn't an original folklore. It was something the original Nosferatu came up with. Thank God, man. Because I do like walking the sun from time to time.
Newfound empathy, LaCroix decides...
Oh, that's LaCroix. Is that my girlfriend? Are you horsing around? Yes, I am. You might say so.
To spare you your life. Instead, he sends you off on a suicide mission to get killed somewhere else. Clueless and alone, you're thrown into this game as an unwilling pawn in a world of darkness.
What? Oh, man.
Oh, I'm the girl being judged? Okay, I'm hot.
Too. Wow. You really are fucked.
But as with any chess game, if you underestimate the pawn, you've already lost. Survive, understand, and identify the other pieces on your board. Once you do, you'll have to make a choice between being a player and being a pawn. And I should warn you, a pawn is always sacrificed to protect the king. Before you start, you have to pick your clan.
Clever.
There are 7 to choose from. They're generally very interesting and offer unique approaches to the game. Bruja and Gangrels are hobos and furries, respectively. They're very hot-tempered and have poor impulse control. Tremere can do this. They're basically undead blood mages. Toreador are the very definition of vampire sluts. Being a room temperature piece of ass does have its advantages though, and lets you get what you want without conflict. Ventru are like vampire aristocracy. Basically, they're assholes who think they're too good for sucking off a homeless.
These are the different class of
Don't say that to their
vampires?
face, though, or you might find your neck snapped. Nosferatu are hideously deformed. Women ignore you or call the police when they see your face.
Yeah, what a little bit. Lord! Oh, sweet Jesus!
No, they wouldn't say that when they see my face.
Me? Don't be sneaking
Not
up
the
on
one
a
I
brother
have
with your
right now.
crackhead skin disease test tube baby looking ass. Damn near shit my pants. I don't sell no soap, so what the hell you want?
So, really, no different from being alive. Malkavians are batshit insane. Their curse makes them unhinged, unstable, and even worse, completely
Menhera.
lucid and prophetic. They can also spread this insanity to others. As a result, they've got some of the best interactions and dialogue options in the entire game.
Salmon.
Which may or may not include talking to stop signs and being
What?
interrogated by your own television.
And that the source of the detonation possibly came from you. Hey, heard anything? Kind of musky.
It's no small secret that Clan Malkavian
What?
is my favorite. If it's your first time
What an original game. They have all these different playthrough for all the different kind of characters. That's crazy.
playing Bloodlines, I recommend playing any clan which isn't
So the Malkavians are schizo.
Malkavian or Nosferatu. Why? Because the Madness Network isn't random. It's foreshadowing. It's knowledge you know but shouldn't. And all these revelations will go over your head when you can't make sense of it. Also, getting spotted out in the open is an instant Masquerade violation for Nosferatus, which can result in your immediate death. It's better for seasoned players who already know who and where everyone and everything is. Also, I hope you like sewers, because you're gonna be seeing a lot of sewers as a Nosferatu. Hope you packed snacks. But why would I play this old-ass game a second time, Seth? I got a lot of stuff to do. I got a reading to catch up on. Because, you goddamn
Delusions.
Zoomer, the game isn't very long. Length isn't the point of it. It's the choices you make. And there's a lot of different choices you can take depending on your character, which come back
kinda
to
wanna
help
play
or
it.
haunt you in the future. It's a very well contained and believable world that never breaks your suspension of disbelief. You might be turned off by the vampires, and to tell the truth, I was too. So was my mom, and now she's probably finished the game more times than me. Because this game
Really?
isn't about vampires, the undead, or the supernatural. It's about humans, and regardless of whether they're mortal or damned flesh, they all act, think, and feel human. They've got real fears, hopes, and motivations which drive their character. Every single character, no matter how central or insignificant they are to the plot, are written fantastically well. And that's the main praise you hear for this game. The story and the dialogue, which has some goddamn amazing voice acting.
I am the proprietor and salesman of the month several years in a row. The ladies call me, oh God, but you can call me Fat Larry with a F-A-T, cause I know I got a weight problem, I just don't give a fuck.
I see your face is not so lifeless. Your nerves not so deadened that you cannot express shock. Tell me, child, is my appearance that frightening?
Yes.
Or is it my knowledge of you that is so unnerving?
Hey! Welcome to
appearance.
Sang's Herbal Remedies. I am Sang. How may I assist you? Selling remedies is honest work. I came to America after discharge from Chinese Herbal Remedies forces to help aging parents.
Definitely deterred from Chinese armed forces.
With store. Definitely, I am now American citizen. God bless the allegiance flag. Chinese invented gunpowder. Yes, I know guns. Hold on, please. These are good remedies for many problems. No credit cards.
Kids.
Oh yeah.
Kids don't know nothing.
No more Yankee my wanky. The finger need food.
Through most of the game, you're
No
given tasks to
way.
complete by LaCroix. These serve as the main quest line, and you'll need to finish them to progress the story and unlock new locations. You'll get to meet the other major powers in LA as well. There's the Camarilla, which uphold the status quo and enforce the Masquerade religiously, Anarchs, who respect the Masquerade but hate the politics and hierarchy of the Camarilla, the Sabbat, who don't give a shit about the Masquerade and seek dominion over mankind, and finally, there's the Kuei Jin, Asian vampires that have recently moved into Chinatown and filled it with gacha machines. They use the negative chi formed by gambling, organized crime, and gacha balls to fuel their aggressive business practices. Besides the main story, there's dozens of side missions to complete. None of these are your standard fetch quests either. They force you to think and decide for yourself how to best approach them. Completing missions is important, since that's your only way of getting the experience points necessary for upgrading your character. Most of them can be resolved resolve peacefully by talking or stalking. Some of them, however, cannot. And whether it's from other vampires or the same dude in a wife beater, copy-pasted 200 times, violence is inevitable. So building your character to be a smooth-talking, anemic slug might not be the best idea. There's a lot of nightclubs in this game, by the way. They're a good place to feed. They've also got some pretty good music. You can also...
When you can feed on others? Dude, I want to play this game, even though the graphics are kind of old. They could remake it with sexier graphics, but this is my type of game.
Dance. Even outside, there's some very nice ambience to fit the mood. It makes you feel like you're actually there. This game taught me that Santa Monica is a shithole, so don't feel bad about the people you kill there. In a way, you're saving them from the pain of living in Santa Monica. Bloodlines controls quite simply. You play it in first person while interacting with objects and NPCs, and you pan out to third person whenever you're in combat. Combat can be enjoyable, but mostly it is not enjoyable. Combat boils down to mashing left click while desperately scrolling with your mouse wheel and smashing right click to reactivate blood buff. Oh yeah, every clan's got vampire superpowers or disciplines unique to their bloodline. Many of these cost a lot of blood to use, but they're visually impressive, they can end fights instantly, and they break the monotony of endless button mashing while hoping and praying that your enemy's life bar is smaller than your own. You could use guns instead, but unless you've invested skill points into firearms, you might be dead by the time you take a shot. Outside...
And that's lame. That's like the gun stand in JoJo. I have to admit the new model's kind of hot. Why, thank you. Thank you. Any attempts to remake this game cause instantaneous bankruptcy to preserve the Masquerade? This is one of the best RPGs ever made? Really? Oh my god. Was this on PS2?
Of combat, you'll be doing everything from investigating serial...
Make a shock face? I got you. 3, 2, 1. That's my shock face. Do I look shocked? That was pretty good, right? What do you give it? 10/10?
Murders to evicting unfriendly spirits out of hotels. The Ocean House Hotel is there to remind you that just because you're a spooky bloodsucker doesn't mean you're not capable of terror. The Ocean House is so infamous that it's got its own console command to skip the entire sequence. It's probably one of the best horror segments I've ever seen in a game, and they managed to do it without a single jump scare. Just a feeling of pure condensed dread. Your inventory is conveniently infinite, so you never have to worry about space. You'll pick up useful items like blood bags and firepower, and less useful items like birth control and...
The pill bottles are important though. The tabletop version is also a banger? Like tabletop on PC?
estrogen pills. This game's difficult, and there's a few frustrating points in the story that might make you quit. Point number 1. Hollywood sewers. At some point in the story, you have to find the Nosferatu, as they've gone into hiding for reasons unknown. This has nothing to do with a 3 billion Tsamisi flesh puppets clogging up every sewer drain, and you're gonna have to fight them all, including this big bitch who throws spare ribs at you. Also, there's no blood down in the sewers, so I hope you brought an entire fridge supply of blood with you. Good luck. Luckily, the unofficial patch fixes this completely. The good old games copy comes with a patch pre-installed, so you can take a convenient shortcut and save yourself the pain of going through this programmed hell. Point number 2. Werewolf Park. In this universe, werewolves
I like that he put the furry werewolves in there. Oh, the D&D table? I've never played D&D. I don't even know how to play that. I don't know if I'd be creative enough for it, like on the spot. Like, you'd have to be good with improv.
Incredibly rare, but they're also invincible killing machines. In fact, you can't fight this puppy at all. It's immune to damage and can stun lock you to death in several swipes. This all happens in a span of 5 seconds, so most players never even get the chance to understand what the fuck is going on before they meet their final death. Again, and again. Even though it kills you in 5 seconds, you're expected to survive for about 5 minutes. Oh, and forget about regenerating your health. Werewolf claws burn through your flesh, so it can't be healed back. However, after years of dying to that same werewolf, I found out you can actually kill it. What the hell? How was I supposed to know that you're actually meant to run into the observatory, flick the circuit breaker outside, run back in, open the dome, lure it into the dome, and crush it to death? How the hell was I supposed to know that? The answer is, I didn't. I had to look it up on the wiki. After years of suffering through the same mission each playthrough, this is oddly satisfying. However, if you can endure past those rough patches in the story, you'll start piecing together what's going on. The concern and focus of every major faction in LA is in one way or another centered on the arrival of a certain archaeological treasure, the Ankaran sarcophagus, which throughout the game has a bad habit of getting stolen. What's inside? Who knows? An old Assyrian king or a slumbering antediluvian?
When will people know that you're never supposed to open the sarcophagus? Or if you like find a hidden door or grotto that's like thousands of years old, never open it. Hello?
One of the oldest granddaddy vampires out there, who, if you traced your blood far back enough, might be one of your original fathers. Half a city believes the latter. They also believe that the moment Father Dearest wakes up from his slumber, he's gonna be hungry. Real hungry. And he'll sate that hunger by feasting on his children. Wherever we go, it is the blood of Cain which makes our fate. Your fate and the fate of the Ankaran sarcophagus are inescapably intertwined. Will you open up the sarcophagus or seal it away for all eternity? That choice is...
What if you open up the sarcophagus and the 3 naked men from JoJo are in there?
Is up to you. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. A very unique, flawed, and fantastic diamond of a game. Terrible combat, 0 out of 10. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. Now I'm just fucking with you. 10 out of 10. One of my favorite and one of the most replayable RPGs of all time. There's very few games out there that keep pulling you back over and over again and still manage to make each playthrough different, and this is one of them. Go buy it. Go play it. You won't regret it. Get sucked into the atmosphere. Get a craving addiction for it and replay it every few years for the rest of your natural life, because there's nothing quite like it. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful.
You're going to get a visitor at your door next week. Don't open door! You Jehovah Witness! They're so annoying!
Hey, I could use a Halloween-looking S&M gremlin like yourself to help haunt some people out of some loot for me.
Let's see what we...
Wait, did he call me an S&M gremlin?
Got on good old camera 3. Oh, well, hello there. I've been thinking about you. Oh, yeah. I want to lick you all over.
The fuck?
Then make my way down to your creamy center and... What the...
Yabe!
Get your hands off my Bavarian cream!
You going to go to a fancy restaurant. You going to order snails. Don't eat them! That's disgusting! Smell very dirty.
Bill's here. Gotta run. Great breakfast, honey.
Have a good day, dear. I'm glad you liked the muffins.
Hey, what's that on the counter? That's not my margarine. That's butter.
It's...
Bitch! You know I'm supposed to watch my LDL levels.
What the fuck?
I thought it would be a nice change. You couldn't even tell.
You don't want a divorce. You're trying to kill me. I'm glad I slept with your sister.
I thought it was margarine, grade B butter. Well, the rancid taste of margarine with all the saturated fat of butter.
Ah, love will find you next week. Don't stay in love too long. Husband find you too.
Does your penis always seem to be getting in the way?
I got the last of the groceries, honey. I just need to close the trunk.
Whoa! One more nail and this birdhouse would be as good as new.
Yo!
I'm sorry, sir. This dressing room is for women only.
You don't have to let this happen to you. Hi, I'm Dr. Fred Tuck. Don't let your penis interfere with the quality of your life anymore. I have performed over 300 sex changes in my career, and not one of my patients has ever asked for their tackle box back. Come to Tuck's Sex Exchange in the next month, and I'll give you a free estimate. Don't let your peace interfere with your peace of mind.
Tuck's Sex Exchange.
Yo, this guy's got so much Patreon subs, the list never ends. Hello? Subscribe to my Patreon. Patreon.com/Rema Evenstar.
located off Beverly Drive.
Next time you get on plane, change seat to exit row. This makes sure you not sit next to big fat ass.
Camera 79, nothing. Camera 80,
This guy's a fortune
nothing.
cookie
Camera
teller?
81. Hey, it's me. Hey there, Chunk. Doing a fine job. Keep up the good work, me.
Last year, Democratic candidate Michael Redmond bought a sports utility vehicle. 3 months later, there were 2 separate incidences of hit and runs by an unidentified SUV in his area. Is Democratic candidate Michael Redmond to blame? Can you afford to take that chance? Can your children? Vote Republican Senator Robert Thorne, a candidate that has never committed vehicular homicide.
What the fuck was that ad?
Democratic candidate Michael Redmond has never publicly stated his opinion on child pornography. Is it because he's hiding something? Would you want a child pornographer voting on this nation's laws? Could you trust your children's future to someone like that? Vote Republican Senator Robert Thorne, the candidate that is committed to locking up child pornographers.
I feel like this is what politics are going to. This game's ahead of its time.
Democratic candidate Michael Redmond recently sued Senator Robert Thorne for accusing Redmond of being a murderous child pornographer. But Redmond had previously said he was against clogging up courts with frivolous lawsuits. Wouldn't this make him a hypocrite? Would you want a hypocrite as your next congressman? Would you want your children to become hypocrites?
Yeah, all of these are like satire back then, but now they're, yeah, almost normal, Mr. Lorbu.
Vote Republican Senator Robert Thorne, a candidate not accused of being a murderous child pornographer.
Sorry, this is the only channel you get. Good night, and have a pleasant evening.
This is what I should say on my stream. Haha, this is the only channel you get. This isn't... What do you mean this is regular Rema, you asshole? This is new Rema. Hello? RimWorld Deep Space Organ Harvesting?
Hey people, Seth here. Today, I'll be reviewing RimWorld, because it hit 1.0 recently, and it's pretty fucking great. It's made by a few people in Montreal, China, including this guy, who wants you to buy his book. RimWorld is a sci-fi colony simulation game, which includes, but is not limited to, forceful organ harvesting, cannibalism, catching carcinomas from breathing in toxic fallout, and cargo pods falling from the sky directly on your favorite animal. RimWorld's got it all.
So it kind of looks like Stardew Valley, but like gore.
It's very similar in the vein of Dwarf Fortress. You generate a planet, you choose some appropriate colonists, which could either be useful members of society possessing skills that will improve your chances of survival, or mentally challenged apes who can't actually contribute anything meaningful to your colony besides being a walking, breathing, shitting sack of human meat. And then once you've chosen them, you crash land on a location of your choice. The location of your choice could be a reasonable one, like a forest with appropriate vegetation and close proximity to friendly colonies, or you could land in the middle of Malaria Town, or maybe you'd like to spice things up and crash in a sub-zero ice sheet or a scorching hot desert with no resources. Why would you ever possibly do that? Because it's fun. Your ultimate goal? Get yourself a working ship and get the fuck off this planet. But surviving that long and managing the combined autism of multiple colonists who think beating the shit out of each other just prior to a pirate raid is a good idea will make that exceedingly difficult. When starting a new game, RimWorld asks you to choose from a selection of 3 different AI storytellers. These influence the event and the frequency at which they occur as part of your colony's story. In no particular order, they are Cassandra Classic, who will progressively increase the challenge your colony experiences by sending a pack of alpha beavers to eat all your trees 5 times in a row. There's also
What the hell? You know, when I hear RimWorld, I thought it was going to be some kind of cyberpunk game, like 4X and everything with insane graphics. This is like pixelated, scuffed ass game. Thank you, Antism.
Phoebe Chillax, who suffers from bipolar disorder. She does absolutely nothing for several months, making you question whether or not the game is broken. Then, she'll send 2 hordes of pirates with sappers who will dig for your defenses while all of your colonists simultaneously catch intestinal parasites from not wearing appropriate protection when eating ass. And then there's Randy Random. Randy doesn't hide the fact that he's out for your
Inferneco VT, welcome everybody. I hope you guys like my new model. Take a seat. Hope you had a great stream, and thank you for the raid. You're such a normie, Rema. Why? How am I a normie? Look at my model. There's nothing normal about it. Is the micromanagement that people love? Oh yeah, I could see that. Is it like an RTX?
Blood and doesn't actually give a shit what happens to your colony. Events will happen, good or bad, but they'll happen consistently. Randy has previously sent raids, crashed mechanoid ships containing toxic waste, and started a volcanic winter, all in the span of a single afternoon. But he made up for it shortly after by instantly domesticating every squirrel on the map to join my colony and eat my potatoes. Objectively, Randy is the best storyteller. He follows no set patterns and keeps you guessing and adapting your strategy, whereas Phoebe lulls you into a false sense of security, and Cassandra can go fuck herself. The game is quite innovative in the sense that each colonist has their own background, traits, and personality. This sounds good in theory. If you've worked in a special needs school before and have experience of tard wrangling, you'll find yourself right at home. Colonists can have traits ranging anywhere from being kind,
does being a streamer is akin to that in a sense? Tard wrangling the chat, working with special need people. Looking at you, chat.
hardworking, and having exceptional immunity to being neurotic, depressive, and being a hideously deformed mouth breather. Their backgrounds often mesh together with their traits and create an exceptionally volatile, unstable human being. These are quite diverse and colorful, and consist of both a childhood and an adulthood that forms the core of their character. There's probably so many
Inferneco, yeah, the raid did work. I saluted you guys when you came in. You might have missed that. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a wonderful stream. My mom said I was special. Yeah, and so did your Oshi, Rema.
Fucking backgrounds that I've never even seen them all. You can have research scientists, medieval slaves, Japanese pop idols,
love medieval
PUBG
slaves.
players, and vat-grown sex slaves all living in the same colony. Or you can get a special snowflake who, due to their pampered childhood and traumatic adulthood, can do no useful work and sexually identifies as limestone. I recommend
so V-tweeters. No!
stripping these people nude, handing them some dog food, and sending them out to the wilderness. Don't worry, they'll be fine. Oh shit, she got captured by pirates. Don't worry. Help is on the way. Characters interact with each other and may even love and hate the shit out of each other. An efficient colony needs a variety of skills and people to survive, as every person shines in different tasks and develops them at different rates according to how much they enjoy it. A digger seasoned in mining will feel right at home chipping away iron and exposing my colony to insect infestations, while the sickly 15-year-old boy I bought from a slave trader may not be the optimal person for crafting leather jackets, owing to the fact that I've replaced both his legs and hands with wooden stumps. And you can do that. Every body part can be replaced with prosthetic and bionic parts, because people tend to lose them, whether through a stray bullet or getting pecked out by an ostrich. Accidents happen. RimWorld has a fully functional body part and organ system for every living creature in the game. Parts can get damaged, scarred, burned, infected, and chopped right off. And that's about the gist of it for colonists. For the colony itself, you need to adapt to different environmental and physical threats as you slowly grow and expand. In between threats, you can even research new and additional technology, giving you access to equipment, resources, and structures that increase your self-sufficiency. You can also open up the world map and send caravans to trade with friendly colonies, take missions, and improve diplomatic relations. You can even start additional colonies, get ambushed by flesh-eating turtles, build pod launchers.
Wait, ambushed by flesh-eating turtle? Why does it sound like you're in Australia and you're fighting the big birds? Afro Teddy Bear! Thank you! This is one of my favorite colors of Super Chat. The piss color. So I already like you. Who spiked my drink? I'm seeing a wolf. Where's the horse? Damn, you must be tripping. You'll feel right at home in here. Hi, Octokobo.
And fire a dozen super soldiers dressed in power armor straight into a colony and commit genocide. RimWorld 1.0 really has it all. Aside from handling food, energy...
Okay, but this game looks too complicated.
Appropriate accommodations and clothing, defense is probably your most important priority. No matter how well your colony is doing, an unexpected attack can decimate your entire base. Luckily, the AI is pretty predictable, and even the smarter AI patterns can be learned and manipulated. This leads to people constructing increasingly elaborate and sadistic kill boxes, labyrinthine trap mazes, Romanian corpse freezers, engineered cave-ins, and walk-in Holocaust ovens. Temperature dynamics work quite nicely in this game, so one of my favorite defensive strategies is to bait.
This is like the same design as that YouTube channel called History Simplified or something. They're like drawn like that. For you, yes. Listen, buddy. It's aggressively complicated. Yeah, it seems like it's a bunch of little menu things with words.
Raiders into entering my base through a narrow, creeping tunnel of granite. As they manage to slowly crawl halfway through the tunnel, I quickly go all Edgar Allan Poe on them and seal the entrance behind them. Since we don't want our guests to get cold, I tell one of my colonists to start a nice roaring fire near the exit, using some conveniently placed furniture. We seal the door shut, and that's when they make the realization. The walls are covered in scratches. The tunnel heats to several hundred degrees Celsius. Clothing ignites, flesh fries, and skin melts off a bone. Each man will dig and claw at the walls in futile desperation, tearing their nails out while their organs boil. And then Randy will drop a cargo pod.
Wait, the game actually gives you all these descriptives? RimWorld has a steep but intuitive learning curve. Oh, okay, so maybe it's not that bad.
Milk. The best trait, of course, is psychopath. That's a bit of a segue, but I felt that I should talk about my current colony. I exclusively recruit psychopaths because they practice what I call moral relativism, and I practice what some would call an organ harvesting operation, which personally I find to be a very offensive and bigoted term to describe non-consensual organ arbitrage. Why do I do it? Because it's very profitable. A human in RimWorld can provide you with free healthy organs before they need to rest. One of his kidneys, one of his lungs, and a free choice between his liver or heart. My colony makes every attempt to grow smoothly and weed out undesirables who can't adapt to corporate culture. This one didn't dodge so well. At least he'll—
Who can't adapt to corporate culture. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do to Reiko. He can't adapt to corporate culture of this community. Wink wink.
Make a good sofa. It's amazing how quickly this game turns you into a monster. Surprisingly though, every faction loves me. Besides the raiders, even on the frontiers of civilization, you can't escape the unwashed.
Reiko's in chat. Yeah, keep making those memes that make fun of me, Reiko.
Human rights activism. The soundtrack is pretty alright, but Tanan keeps asking me to buy it separately, together with his book. The graphics are pretty clean and simple, and have a certain charm to how minimalistic they are. It's very utilitarian in its appearance, but still very pleasant. To close off, RimWorld is very expansive with its content right now, and can easily consume hours and days of your life. It's very addictive, challenging, and frustrating. I simultaneously give my highest recommendation and a word of caution, since I genuinely believe my blood pressure and cortisol levels sharply rise when playing this game. It's fucking great. And there's always mods to fix all the broken shit. Go play it. Enjoy it. Get 2 psychic ships crashing in the middle of your base and never—
Wait, did it say I once scalped a man in Quebec? I once scalped a man in Quebec. I never felt more alive than I did that day. Oh, the creator is French Canadian. It all makes so much sense now. Yeah, we're all psychopaths.
All the broken shit. Go play it. Enjoy it. Get 2 psychic ships crashing in the middle of your base and never touch that retarded shit ever again. Oh, at least Randy sent me more milk. A warm thank you to the many members of the Merchants Guild, which have been generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one.
I like the closing song. Some people were asking me to react to the Putis Engage TF2 video. Are they good? Oh yeah, but you guys said I wouldn't understand the references. Or should I just watch the every single Warhammer 40k faction re-explained part 2? Because that's an hour and 30 long. Wow, the first one he did got 6 million views, and this one's got 1.2 million views. That's insane. Yeah, I mean, this is my homework for the collab on Saturday, so I kind of have to watch this because she's gonna give me a quiz.
This video is...
So I kind of need to remember stuff. Okay, so let's just do that, and then if we have time, we'll watch the other stuff. Oh, you are, Valtiel? That's cool. Okay. So, there we go. Every single Warhammer 40k faction re-explained part 2. And I've got this new model to react with.
This video is part 2 in a 2-part series on every faction re-explained. If you've not seen part 1, you were either snatched by the YouTube algorithm, or you don't let anything, not even common sense, hold you back. And for that, well, I wish I could be that strong. The quest to find the Primarchs was expansive and
I thought he was gonna say you'll fit right in.
To the point where they really should write a book about it. Despite never seeing the Emperor before in their lives, the Primarchs all instinctively knew who the Emperor was. Whether it's his psychic connection to him or just plain old intuition, the giant golden god is a bit of a giveaway. The Primarchs all lived their own lives, and some lived substantially better lives than others. Rabute Gilliman of the Ultramarines rose through the ranks of his worlds and ended up turning an entire sector into a high-functioning society, where others, like Mortarion, lived on the poisonous hellscape of Barbarous under the boot heel of his own adopted father. When the Emperor arrived, some wanted to play a little bit of catch with their dad.
The Emperor looks like a Giga Chad.
At first, and some didn't trust the baseball bat he was carrying, and some didn't want to play at all. Eventually, one by one, the Emperor returned his sons to his side to bring them back together as one happy family. A family who needed a good cleaning. Are you tired of boring old soap? Is your son the foulest being ever? Do your eyes sting when he comes near? Well, clean that man right back up with the power of Cheeky. That's right, the brand new moisturizing bar soap brought to you by Moist Critical and Bricky approved.
Yeah.
Nurgle hates it, but you'll love it. Bar soap is always so...
I love the retro effect he added to this Cheeky ad. Yeah, this is Moist Critical soap. I didn't know this was a collab with Bricky. I've heard about this brand.
Sticky and has a ton of fuss, but now you'll be glowing to the surprise of Lehman Russ. Cheeky soap is so good, we didn't even take a down payment for the sponsor. That's right, we love this soap so much, we are operating on 100% commission. We are supported purely and only by those of you who buy Cheeky. It is the best bar soap we have ever used. That is not a hyperbole. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Take it from the man himself.
Bricky's right. It's very good.
Enjoy a multitude of flavors, including lo-fi lavender, pulp Francis, just soap, touch grass, and absolute cinnamon. Cheeky alone has made me swap back to bar soap as my primary choice. No more liquid soap for this brick. Cheeky is the play. Go ahead and go to useshiggy.com/bricky or code bricky for 10% off your purchase and domestically support these videos. That's code bricky at useshiggy.com/bricky or click the link in the description to learn more. Get clean now.
Damn, bitch, you live like this?
Oh, yeah, so half his sons turned on him. After the Emperor was able to bring all of his sons back into the fold again, he sent them on their way with his end goal in mind, reclaiming the lost worlds of humanity. Each of his Primarchs fanned out across the galaxy to accomplish this goal, but the one they were expected to report to was his favored son, and the first one found, allegedly, which was Horus. Horus was granted the title of War Master, and he certainly lived up to Big E's expectations, which were very specific and set by Big E himself to all of his sons. However, either intentionally or not, the Emperor did not mention to his sons some of the more chaotic aspects of the galaxy. Horus himself, while in the process of reclaiming a more advanced human world, was informed of the existence of chaos gods, a factoid that Horus initially did not believe. To him, it was a bit unfathomable to think that his father would emit such significant information on the inner workings of the galaxy. However, he soon realized this was the truth, and this betrayal was unacceptable. With the astronomical weight put on his shoulders and his father immediately leaving it all in his hands, combined with the slow corruption of his mind by those closest to him, he began to change his tune. Horus began amassing a following behind his father's back.
Oh, my homies hate Horus.
Several other Primarchs.
Yeah, never trust bald people. Especially not in 40k.
And began to formulate plans to usurp him from his throne on Terra. While this was occurring, Magnus the Red tried to FaceTime his dad back on Terra, and that resulted in the shattering of the protective barrier between Terra and the demons of the warp. Due to this damage, the Emperor was forced to sit on the Golden Throne to assure that it would continue to function. Ultimately, half of the Primarchs would fall to chaos, and the remaining half would fight back viciously against their brothers. Horus eventually gained the upper hand and arrived in orbit above Terra itself, and after antagonizing his father enough, the Emperor temporarily removed himself from the throne, strategically putting his old friend there as a seat warmer, and went to confront Horus himself on the Vengeful Spirit, his flagship. The Emperor faced down his son, and after a heated battle and 64 novels, the Emperor managed to obliterate Horus on a subatomic level. But
wait, this is worse when the mangakas like stretch out a single fight for like 3 mangas. Oh, hey Tony, do you like my new form?
not before his favorite son was able to mortally wound the Emperor. As the dust settled and the traitors fled from Terra, the Emperor's body was dragged back onto the Golden Throne, where it sits permanently to assure that it continues.
Oh, that's where it starts, and that's where he starts getting like chained to the throne and try to keep like the dark forces from coming in or some shit, and he's like super weakened
to function. A corpse forced to constantly hold back the horrors of the warp and guide humanity with his pale light, and that light is flickering. From there, the remaining members of the traitors to the Emperor fled to their respective safe havens. These are the veterans of the Long War, the spiteful, and to them, the wronged. Those who would let the galaxy burn if it means the Imperium gets caught in the flames. These
Hell yeah. Chaos Space Marines! Woo!
And what are the—
They even played Yu-Gi-Oh! In that battle. You know what? I believe you. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the ultimate test. Everybody knows this. Super convoluted excuse to work from home.
the achievements of your fragile Imperium? It is a corpse rotting slowly from within while maggots writhe in its belly. It was built with the toil of heroes and giants, and now it is inhabited by frightened weaklings to whom the glories of those times are half-forgotten legends. I have forgotten nothing, and my wisdom has expanded far beyond mere mortal frailties. The Horus Heresy saw the collapse of the Imperium as we knew it at the time, and half of the Space Marine legions fell to the ruinous powers. Though the favored son, War Master Horus, was killed and the rebellion ended, the heretical forces retreated to the warp and remain a constant threat to this day. The twisted reminder of what the temptations of the warp may bring, the Chaos Space Marines act as a mirror to the loyal legions, and as time progresses, their warp taint further changes them to suit the needs of their patron deity. Though marred and absolutely mangled by the ruinous powers, they are still unmistakably Space Marines in stature and shape, and according to them, they have never been more free. After the heresy, the loyal legions of Space Marines became very strict in their organization, and their separation into separate chapters with capped numbers and other formalities was done to prevent any form of heresy from happening again. The Chaos Space Marines are a bit different. Ultimately, these Marines are subject to the primary legions that fell to Chaos in the first place. The majority of these legions, the Black Legion, the Word Bearers, Iron Warriors, Alpha Legion, and the Night Lords, are supporters of Chaos undivided, either enjoying the powers of all Chaos gods or sometimes shunning them altogether. But
I hate balkanization.
A few of them follow a very specific Chaos God. Thousand Sons are followers of Zeech, the Death Guard follows Nurgle, Slaanesh has their claws in the Emperor's Children, and the World Eaters are avid followers of Khorne. From there, the legions themselves are separated into roaming war bands that may go under their own unique names or may stake a claim to one of the primary legions.
Never mind, I don't
Most
like
of
them
the gear
anymore.
and armor of a Chaos Space Marine remains the same, but stylistically it changes quite a bit to reflect the intention of the Legion or their patron god. The Death Guard's armor has become rotted and full of gaping mouths and plague-filled boils. The World Eater's sharp and violent armor reflects their bloodthirst, and the chaotic noise of the Emperor's Children armor, nipple rings included, pleases Slaanesh greatly.
Okay, this is my favorite one so far, the one with the nipple rings, and it's colorful. It's a little bit clowncore.
The taint of Chaos, the armor itself becomes less about plating and more about a new skin for any given Chaos Space Marine. Though the Chaos Space Marines have no true fear of death or numbers diminishing, there are still major recruitment efforts for their legions. However, the conscription of these recruits is a lot more chaos-fueled and is more of a forced assimilation, and in some instances, breeding. The organ implementations and other modifications are the same, and the necessity of a gene seed remains the same, but the result is a hell of a lot different. Understanding Chaos Space Marines is a difficult exercise. If we took my original video 5 years back and looked at the Imperial Knights section, it mainly focuses on big stompy robots. Now that I understand more, I can discuss the Code Chivalric, the Throne Mechanicum, Squires, and Monarchs, and bring some more context to assume Chaos Space Marines are simply the opposite side of Space Marines would be foolish, for once you understand the plight of their Primarchs, it can provide a context always needed. Horus himself turned through an overwhelming weight on his shoulders and lies told by his father. But what of Angron? Angron lived as a slave gladiator for his planet's master.
Angron needs to go to the dentist, presto, man.
Took Dark Age technology and shoved it into his brain, so experiencing any emotion other than rage was agony for him. He finally leads a revolt for his fellow gladiators and frees himself from the confines of servitude. The Emperor finds him and says he will take him home, but Angron refuses. He will fight with his friends against the tyranny of his slave owners to the last. At the final
so he's a good guy.
stand with him and his closest friends, slave gladiators, all of them outnumbered and on the verge of death, the Emperor forcefully teleports Angron to his flagship and none of his compatriots, leaving Angron to live and watch all of his friends die. You kept that mule core Pharaon. Russ kept his kin friends. The Lion kept Luther. Humans, brothers, and foster fathers, saved and raised into Legion ranks. But not me. Not Angron, no. Did the Emperor teleport his gold-wrapped custodians down to help me in my army? No. Did he free the Warhounds and order them to battle, fight alongside me? No. Did he save my brothers and sisters the way he spared and honored the Lion's kin, the way he honored Core Pharaon? No, no, and no. No mercy for Angron, Angron the Oathbreaker, Angron the Betrayer. Conrad Kurz lived as
Angron's
a lonely
in trouble.
boy scrounging the dregs of a hive city plagued by constant...
Okay, wait, who's this guy? Is he also a son of the Emperor?
Visions of an assassin sent to murder him by his own father. Lorgar was born on a world of chaos worshippers with abusive parents, and the Emperor decided the best way to reprimand him was destroy his holy city. The Emperor robbed Mortarion of vengeance and suppressed Magnus at every turn. The question isn't why the Primarchs rebelled. The question is, why didn't they sooner? To them, they are not the betrayers. They are the betrayed. They were under the boot of a golden tyrant, and they finally could be free from his heel. Of course, things have changed a lot since the heresy, and the Primarchs of the Chaos Space Marines that have survived the fall are a twisted variant of what they
This is a furry with horns on his nips.
used to be. They have all, for the most part, ascended to the position of Demon Prince and act as a direct connection between their god and their legion. However, due to the nature of the transformation and dedication to a particular chaos god, their actions tend to be separate from their legion's actions. Fulgrim, for example, is so infatuated with being a Demon Prince of Slaanesh that he is at times far too focused on his own personal perfection as opposed to conquest and sitting around like Frankfurter on his throne. Meanwhile, Lorgar is being stalked by a bird, so he's always on edge. The most adamant against the temptations of the Chaos Gods, Perturabo, was even made a Demon Prince as a reward for being the one who did the most work on the group project. Chaos Space Marines are a fascinating faction because there is a great deal of cognitive dissonance that is represented in them. Depending on which faction you follow, your devotion to chaos is a sliding scale, and the representation in the universe is so varied. Some are there to reap a high tally of kills for their patron deity, while others are there purely to destroy the Imperium who wronged them. Some are there to torture and maim, and some are there to conquest and conquer. There is no unifying glue. They fight each other as much as they fight everyone else, and their machinations are entirely up.
They're basically just antis. They're just like contrarian
To their warband. You have all walked different paths, but together we have come to the same destination. The Emperor has failed us. The Imperium has failed us all. It has failed us by the laxity of its laws, the decadence of its culture, and in the injustices heaped upon those of us who serve the most loyally. It has failed us by never recognizing our virtues, never rewarding us for the blood we shed and bringing about its ascendancy, and never providing unity when we needed it most. It has failed us by being flawed to its core, imperfect in its pursuit of a perfect culture, and in its weakness against the encroachment of Xenos breeds that seek to twist humanity to alien ends.
Corvus Corax, the not insane emo Primarch, is stalking and hunting Lorgar, the beaten cheer boy turned cultist leader, and now Corvus Corax can turn into birds and shadow and stuff. Corvus Corax sounds cool though. That's the one with the long hair that looked emo, with the six-pack, and he can turn into birds and shadows. That's kind of cool.
And it has failed us, most of all, by being founded upon lies. The Imperium is forged by a dangerous deceit and erodes us all by demanding we sacrifice truth on the altar of necessity. This is an empire propagated by sin that deserves to die. And here on Istvan 5, we begin the purge. From these ashes shall rise the new kingdom of mankind, an Imperium of justice, faith, and enlightenment, an Imperium heralded, commanded, and protected by the avatars of the gods themselves, an empire strong enough to stand through a future of blood and fire. Naturally, however, as I have said before, Space Marines do not make up the bulk of the fighting force in the Imperium, so it would be ludicrous for me to not mention their dark cousins. The Code Chivalry is the sign of the power of the Imperial Knights. But what about the
Dark Mechanicum?
Ruinous powers claimed during the Horus Heresy extended beyond just
the title cards go so hard.
Space Marines and the Primarchs. Mars itself was subject to a revolution that saw half of them fall to chaos as well. And some of the once loyal knight houses saw themselves swearing fealty to the dark gods. The falling of these factions allows for the war machine of chaos to continue uninterrupted and to have firepower equal to that of the Imperium itself. The Dark Mechanicum, as the name suggests, is the chaos-affiliated branch of
Are these the guys that worship the computers? It's like as if I worship my router.
The Mechanicus. And
wait, maybe that's why my stream keeps cutting off. I'm not worshiping my router enough.
Have a lot more free reign, much like the freedoms of the Chaos Space Marines. The seeds of the Dark Mechanicum were planted fairly early due to some of the Mechanicum not really seeing the Emperor as the Omnissiah immediately. And Horus exploited this to allow the schism to happen a bit more naturally. Unlike their Imperial brothers, the Dark Mechanicum have the ability to invent and innovate. What a concept.
Oh, okay, but then maybe I like these Mechanicums better then. Because the other ones were like hard stuck. And these guys can invent new stuff. They'd be OP if you can invent new stuff. I might have to side with the Dark Mechanicums now.
Utilizing forbidden technology such as the Silica Animus or
they use ChatGPT.
AI. The Dark Mechanicum do have their own desires to find lost technologies and put them to use, but they're more interested in taking ancient and...
Okay, but look how cool they are. Like, they look like cultists with, like, chains and robes and stuff. And, yeah, they're my favorite, I think.
Forbidden technology from Imperial worlds and activating them for their own purposes. Because what good is a bunch of knob and tube wiring if you don't overload it with as many extension cords as possible? However, instead of being clear-cut and
looks like cable management nightmare.
More generalized creations, the inventions of the Dark Mechanicum are inherently tied with the warp and its demons. Genetic experimentation and modification, the fusion of man and machine are exceptionally common, and no creation is more reflective of this than the demon engines. Instead of regular tanks and vehicles, the demon engines are machines bound with the presence of demons to make them living war machines. Unlike the vehicles of the Imperium, where a Mechanicus priest may be there to aid in its repair, a Warpsmith sorcerer is there to essentially repair and irritate the demon engine so that it can be a more effective killing machine. In certain...
Oh, so it rage baits the machine, so it goes berserk on their enemies. I see. Yeah, I'm starting to like this faction more and more.
Factions, like the bitter and siege-loving Iron Warriors, they will lure demons with the promise of glory and easy bloodletting, only to then forcibly trap them into these demonic engines to use as weapons of war against the Imperium. Some lesser gods, like Vashtor the Archifane, is also a contract and arms dealer for the demonic stuff that comes out of chaos. Many demons may sign a pact with Vashtor in the soul forges of the warp, and in doing so are given the weapons of war to kill as much as they can. Should they do so, excellent, you may keep it. Should you not, I hope you enjoy your soul working in the forges for all eternity. That's what you signed with blood and oil. In addition, much like their ties in the Loyalist realm, the Dark Mechanicum and the Chaos Knight houses are deeply intertwined. There were, of course, many Knight houses that swore fealty and bent the knee to War Master Horus during the heresy, but a good portion of them had no choice, as they were absorbed by warp storms and corrupted into compliance. Many of these Chaos Knights reflect the very early Dark Age technology Knights with...
I don't think they really explained warped storms, but I get an idea of what they are.
More corrupted weapons. The Throne Mechanicum, which once had a noble sitting and taking control of generations of previous drivers and taming a beast, is now a saddle to a monstrosity of wrath and hatred. The nobles of the Chaos Knights fight to aggravate and bring the machine to their will while combating the corrupted minds of their fallen ancestors. Some of these nobles may do such a good job that they themselves fuse into the throne itself and become one with the knight. If a noble dies, no.
Oh, wait, are these... Okay, he explained that in part 1, I think. It's like these nobles that are into the mechas. And they get all the thoughts of their ancestors and stuff. But do they get also their loot thoughts? Like, what if you had an ancestor that was like really degenerate, like, and then you get hit with all their degenerate loot thoughts? You'd go crazy. This is a very, very dangerous profession.
No worries at all. Unlike the Imperial ones that require a pilot, a demon can hop into the cockpit and control it instead. The Night World...
And like, if your ancestors can hear your thoughts, Dude, you wouldn't want your grandma to hear your thoughts. That's embarrassing.
Also see full corruption as well. Where there were once peasants, there are now cultists, and the goal of the Chaos Knights are just as chaotic as the gods they follow. Some are sent to war by the ruinous powers, others may protect Dark Mechanicum Forge worlds, and others still may be so hyped up on the ruinous powers that they are just aimless and reckless, hoping to unravel the fabric of the universe itself. Though the aspect of nobility is still there with the Chaos Knight, but it's hardly the same as it is on the Imperial side. As opposed to a beautiful knightly stallion, the knights here are horrifying and unpredictable monstrosities, fueled in part by the agony of the memories of the ancestors trapped within. An invasion by a house of Chaos Knights is a horrifying thing. One might ask, how do knights enter the battlefield? Normally they can be deployed via dropships the standard way, but Imperial Knights can be deployed with a drop keep. A gigantic knight keep,
no way,
with like towers and stuff, will hurtle towards the surface like a drop pod and be slammed into the ground with an excessively thunderous crash. Then massive drawbridges slam down, banners unfurl, and huge horns play the song of their people as these lumbering robots charge out of their, again, drop keep to fight for the Imperium. So
that's
imagine
crazy.
What a warp-fueled version of this could look like.
It kind of reminds me of that One Piece character, one of the like 11 pirates that has like an entire keep inside him and he has soldiers and stuff. But this is even crazier.
If you get the opportunity, you should kill yourself.
Chaos Knights have such a presence, the warp
Capone,
fluctuates in their tread. They bring doom, dread, and despair across the battlefield. Warp storms occur overhead, and psychic phenomenon cling to them. A Chaos Knight will arrive either in some warp-debased platform, or perhaps a portal itself, or climb out of a pool of blood. As the air gets heavy, the enemy feels a crippling sense of paranoia, and the sky begins to rain blood, acid, and God knows what else. The horrors of the warp have resulted in a dramatic change in technology in the favor of their forces. Though in practice, it is a horror beyond comprehension, their baseline desires don't seem that radical on paper. They are creative builders, working to innovate and improve technology while utilizing anything they can to accomplish their STEM goals. Looking at the dark forces of chaos and the Emperor now on his golden throne, humanity is fractured. The Emperor himself is the guiding light for warp travel for humanity, and in being that exists as a beacon for the entire species. Without him, things would get somehow worse. Therefore, he needs his protectors. Where a Thunder Warrior wasn't enough for his armies, and half of his Space Marines turned traitor,
I honestly don't see how it could get worse than this. It looks already pretty bad, not gonna lie.
The Emperor's personal bodyguards are something else entirely. They are not the fallible Astartes, nor are they a nightmarish concoction of
well, yeah, the Astartes. We watched that cinematic. That was great.
Organs and indoctrination. They are built and gene-crafted with science bordering on magic. They number 10,000 strong, and each of them is a hero. They are the
Adeptus Custodes.
Rare is the battle where an Emperor's custodians outnumber our foes. We are ever beset, surrounded upon all sides by heresy and foulness, just as is Terra itself. Yet, like the throne world, we stand resolute, indefatigable, indomitable. Let the enemy come. Let them darken the horizon with their numbers.
Did you guys hear what he said? Are we thinking about the same thing right now? Let the enemy come? Nani?
Still, we will prevail. Though the Emperor sits rotting on the golden throne, his talons remain sharp. The talons of the Emperor was the name given to the most elite forces at his disposal. The left hand of his talents comes in the form of the Sisters of Silence, psychic blanks that scour the galaxy to claim souls to fuel the Astronomicon in the form of the Great Tithe. 1,000 psychers sacrificed daily to keep the Emperor of Mankind alive, dragged into the black ships of the Silent Sisterhood. The right hand of the Emperor's protectorate, his golden bodyguards that serve him and only him. These are the Custodians. While the members of the Space Marines went out to take back the galaxy, the Legio Custodes stood back and kept a close watch over the Emperor himself. The Custodes are, in a sense, similar to Space Marines in that they are genetically modified super soldiers clad in power armor, but that is where the similarities stop. Their genetic makeup seems to be made from the Emperor himself, or at least something quite close. And the precision of their creation predates the development of the Space Marines and even the Primarchs. Unlike Space Marine recruitment, where there's a process undertaken when a subject is at least somewhat grown, a Custodian's process begins at infancy. The methods in which they are made are a secret, but what is known is that at the very beginning, each Custodian was made by the Emperor himself. Regardless of the bioalchemical process, the process is exceptionally long and grueling, and only a handful of selected aspirants make it to the end. Those that do are clad in the most regal and effective armor in the Imperium. Commonly, a Custodian is seen carrying a Guardian Spear, an utterly yoked up version of the stabs the Praetorian Guards of the Emperor in Star Wars had. They are also clad with specific shields and blades, but the most interesting thing with all of their gear is that due to the meticulous...
They're very much inspired by the Romans, like their spears and decorations and this like eagle banner that they have. Isn't that very like Roman?
And dedicated maintenance and preservation of their armor and gear, these items are the same ones they used 10,000 years ago. The Custodians do not age biologically, so some of the veterans in the Guard may be several thousand years old. And unlike the Space Marines, they fight entirely as a solo force. When a line of Custodians is holding back waves of enemies, they operate independently. There are no battle formations, there are no squad tactics. Each Custodian is the main character, trailed by serfs and servitors, tasked entirely to reload their weapons. They fight with a singular purpose, if not action. Groups of Custodians will dispatch enemy after enemy, their spears coming within inches of each other, but never close enough for a killing blow.
Spears almost touching.
Their strikes are intentionally defensive, allowing their opponents to attack 1 to 2 times before parrying and ending their lives. Each strike deflected is an opportunity to know their enemy more and learn from their patterns. They are truly the Emperor's bodyguards, masters of close combat, enemy knowledge, and reactions measured in milliseconds. Though the Custodians are a part of the Adeptus Terra, the members of the Guard only answer to their own leadership and the Emperor himself. The leader of the Custodes is known as the Captain General, and individual squads of Custodians are overseen by a shield captain. As their focus is on the Emperor, their command center is located within the...
Yeah, it doesn't count that the spears don't touch, I agree. Each one of them costs more than an entire solar system. Holy upkeep.
Imperial Palace. The Tower of Hegemon serves as their primary base of operations, but there is a dedicated elite guard of Custodians known as the Companions that stands 300 strong by the Emperor's side. In total, the Custodians are 10,000 strong, and when a member retires, their name is added to the Hall of Name.
Didn't know your model could get even better. Hey Murkip, I'm glad you enjoyed the new form. People said that would fit in the 40k Warhammer universe great with this form. What do you guys think? What was that, about 300? Yeah, there's 300 elite Custodians guarding the Emperor. I wonder how they all fit in the throne room. Must be a really big throne room. Thank you for the gifted sub, Murkip. Thank you. Enjoyed the gifted sub, Molecule.
And vanish across the galaxy in a cloaked disguise to serve as eyes and ears for the Imperium. Despite their numbers and their strength, the members of the Custodians do not consider themselves to be soldiers or warriors in any way. They see themselves strictly as the guardians of the Emperor in all facets of his presence. This extends beyond the physical. Custodians believe they represent the guarding of the Emperor's ideals and philosophies too. Their gains are both physical.
Is that a space rover or like a space motorcycle?
And literary. They are the protectorates of everything the Emperor stood for, and in doing so, the custodians are also artisans and scholars, in addition to being the golden guard of the Golden Throne. However, due to this nature of being protectorates, they have a very strong view when it comes to the Space Marines and the Primarchs. The Emperor himself had insinuated many times that once the galaxy was brought to heel, that there would be no need for the Space Marines anymore, and they were to go the same way that the Thunder Warriors went before them. The Custodians were meant to be the judge, jury, and executioner of this will, and are biologically designed not only to be able to take down Space Marine with ease, but to be able to go toe-to-toe with the Primarch as well. During the Heresy...
Oh, so far the Custodians are OP, like are stronger than all the other soldiers they've got in the Imperium.
Custodians muse on how suspiciously easy it was to kill Chaos Space Marines, as if they were trained and made for that explicit purpose. Constantine Valdor, one of the closest advisors of the Emperor, was asked if he ever disagreed with Big E on something, and he said once, with the formation of the Primarchs.
I feel I do my best, but they don't.
Let me ask you a very fair question. What do you do successfully? Quickly.
Damn!
I hate that every time we're in Untucked, the conversations are about me.
And besides the trained distrust for Space Marines, the Custodians also have evidence for their distrust. The Horus Heresy saw half of the chapters fall to chaos and turn traitor against the Emperor. In the mind of a Custodian, the fact that half of the Space Marines fell before means that the other half can fall with ease. They are fully capable of wiping out literally any force put against them, and in a sense are the final representation of the golden age of terror. However, they are forced to stand in silent and blind service to the Emperor and to the ill of the Imperium. And they, for 10,000 years, have stood vigil over the Imperium and have watched its rise and fall with the inability to do anything about it. While they do go out and fight some battles here and there, at the end of the day, the vastness of the Imperium means that the closest advisors to the Emperor himself are powerless to make any change. But goddamn, can they kill a Space Marine? For 100 years, I stood my watch amidst the somber shadows of the Sanctum Imperialis. I was still as a statue, but always ready, always attuned to dangers unseen. Days, months, years passed by in a frenzied blur beyond those walls, yet within, little moved and nothing changed. For 100 years, I did not but wait, yet had any threat appeared, I would have struck it down in a heartbeat. For 100 years, I stood my watch, and as it ends, I can tell you this: patience is a weapon. Of course, a threat directly to Terra itself would appear to be something foolish. It's in the deepest parts of Imperial space and is one of the most defended bastions in the galaxy. You truly have to be foolhardy or insane to think that you can take on Terra itself. However,
let me guess, somebody's gonna try to take on Terra itself.
One faction certainly got close. In the dark ages of the stars and in a river of misery, there is one faction having a cracking old time. The galaxy sees them as savages, yet they have already figured out the questions of the universe. Their numbers are uncountable, their technology incomprehensible, and yet their violence is so very green. I am, of course, talking about the Orcs. The Orcs are the pinnacle of creation. For them, the great struggle is won. They have evolved a society which knows no stress or angst. Who are we to judge them? We Eldar who have failed, or the humans on the road to ruin in their turn? And why? because we saw answers to questions that an orc wouldn't even bother to ask. We see a culture that is strong and despise it as crude. During the war in heaven, the Old Ones were doing their best to spawn as many combatants to their cause as possible by seeding the galaxy in a specialized sense. The Eldar were made to be a precise and tactical species to fight off the Catan and the Necrons, but another prominent species was made by them as well. The Krork were warriors clad in ornate armor with more dangerous weaponry. However, things changed, and these warriors changed, and the Krork are no more. They are now known as the boys, the lads, the mates, the orcs, orcs. An orc in 40k looks like an orc in most other fantasy media. Hulking, warlike monstrosities with big teeth and worse attitudes. However, unlike the more Tolkien-esque forms of these creatures, the devastating nature of the orcs is in their biology. Unlike most species in the galaxy, the orcs are actually a type of fungus. This fungus itself comes in various forms. The small goblin-like Gretchen and Snotlings are a part of this fungal ecosystem as well, and also the squigs, which can be used for basically anything. But regardless of what is a part of the fungal system, all of them are born from spores that land on the ground and grow. As they travel around the galaxy, they drop spores literally everywhere, and then an orc dies, and they drop tons of fungal spores that allows for their numbers to be replenished over a period of time. Because of this, orcs are not only extremely prominent across the galaxy, but they are exceptionally resilient due to their growing cycle. Even if one orc lands on a planet, it will be nearly impossible to get rid of all.
Oh, I love their outfits here. They look so cool. I usually don't like orcs factions so much in other fantasies, but they look kind of cool in this one.
Of the orc presence, unless the planet itself is completely destroyed. And even then, they might find a way to survive. Due to their fungal nature, orcs don't really stop growing. And the more long-lived an orc is, the bigger they get. And the more an orc fights, the bigger they get. Of course, since they're constantly getting into scraps, an orc's lifespan isn't necessarily that long, so the bigger orcs are harder to find. Though alongside this, however, they are a tribe-based species that is comprised of warbands, and the biggest and the strongest orc leads the warband known as the War Boss. At the bottom end of the orc tribal system are the Gretchens and the Snotlings. These members act as the servants and slaves of the orcs, and sometimes their actual ammunition, despite being a bit smarter and more cunning than their bigger brethren. Because in orc culture, the biggest is the boss. The smallest gets picked on and thrown around. Beyond the warbands and the tribes.
That's what. Hey, Bob, with another Akasupa 1,000 Mexican pesos. Holy shit, thank you. Reminder to all to forfeit your mortal processions to the horse girl in the screen. Yes, I'll replace the Emperor. I will take him down and take his spot, surely. I am as powerful. Bye-bye, Rena. Bob the Giga Chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys love this model. I am the Goddess Empress. I will dominate the Mechanicums. And what's my server name again? And I will dominate their bottoms.
Orcs also belong to a specific clan. Tribes constantly shatter and rebuild, but the clans do not. They are, in a sense, a psychological state of being for any given orc, and gives an orc their specific character and traits. And to make things easier, these clans are also color-coded. So that's very easy to tell what orc does.
You let the enemy come is what you said your saying was? I said this? No, I didn't say this. That's a Sun Tzu quote. I was only quoting this really wise war expert. Everybody knows Sun Tzu.
What? Though there are many clans out there, 6 of them are the most prominent and well known. The Bad Moons are essentially the merchants and have a lot of money because their currency is teeth, and they grow teeth faster than any others. The Blood Axes are the stealth units, and by stealth, it means like slightly more quiet than the others, and they have a love for LARPing as humies. Death Skulls are
they don't look very stealthy at all.
The scavengers, and the Goths are the close combat specialists. And on the two ends of the spectrum, we also have the tech-savvy evil sons and the more traditionalist and tribal snakebites. Another major facet of orcs is their religious beliefs. They believe in two gods, Gork and Mork. Gork is cunningly brutal, and Mork is brutally
Wait. Oh, Gork, not Grok. Okay.
The difference between them, according to orcs, is that Mork hits you when you aren't looking, and Gork hits you when you are. There's a lot of confusion as to which one is which, and this results in a lot of infighting. In other species, this would be considered a sort of religious conflict, but for the orcs, it's just another excuse to fight. I have a quote here,
Gork,
but
is this
I
true?
don't really do a good orc voice. So I'm going to get my co-host of That's Ridiculous to read this one, and I'll try to lip sync it.
Oh, he's more cunning than a grot and more killy than a dread. The boys that follow me can't be beat. On Piscina, we jumped the Marine boys, and our boss pose was covered in the helmets we took from the dead-ends. We burned their port and killed their bosses, and left nothing but ruins behind. I'm Warlord Gazgul Mac Uruk-Drucker, and I speak with the word of the gods. We's gonna stomp the universe flat and kill anything what fights back. We's gonna do this 'cause we're orcs, and we was made to fight and win.
It's because this fucking sounds terrible. Fighting is the—
Why did they always have European accents in like every fantasy world orcs are in?
The biggest aspect of orc culture, and is essentially their life's purpose. They are genetically hardwired to get into battles and scraps with enemies that can feel pain. The more they fight, the bigger they get. This, combined with them getting bigger over time, means that some of the biggest and baddest orcs of all time have been notably gigantic. The Beast, as he was known, was about the size of an imperial knight. If an orc runs out of other enemies to fight, they will immediately start infighting to scratch the battle itch. For example, in The Warp, a planet exists where a band of orcs are in a constant state of war and battle, and have been for an improbably long amount of time, strictly because how much Korn enjoys himself watching it. For some, being trapped in a perpetual war planet for all eternity would be a fate worse than death, but to the boys, this is heaven. In the event of a particularly big battle, a massive amount of tribes and war bands will unite under what is known as—
These guys are also looking for their fill.
the Wa. The concept of a Wa covers a few bases. The first is the group aspect of the massive green tidal wave of orcs fighting for the same cause, the cause being the second base. But the most prominent aspect of the Wa is the psychic aspect of it. Remember how the old ones made the Eldar and all the Eldar are psychic? Well, the orcs are too, kinda, but just not as much. Only a little bit of it. And they often don't know how to use it, and frankly don't care. But a huge gathering of orcs generates a psychic field that allows orcs to be more organized, dangerous, and dedicated to the war-based cause. However, the true extent of the psychic energy and its usage is relatively unknown, but that doesn't matter considering the outcome 90% of the time. In a similar sense, their ragtag technology and weaponry is also a mystery to most who encounter it, purely because of that Wa energy. The technology the orcs use seem to be held together with duct tape and plastic glue, and crude doesn't even begin to describe it. Their guns seem to have an inordinate—
How do the Mechanicums feel about their technology? Do they pray to their metal scraps, or do they condemn them? Like, how does it work?
Amount of ammunition and firepower, and they are seemingly able to put things together on the fly in the middle of combat. The Imperium is of the mind that the orcs' weapons and machinery only work due to their innate psychic ability, but realistically, orc gear hardly works in the first place. Weapons blow up in a Bugs Bunny-esque manner all the time, and their war buggies can collapse in the middle of battle. Just because it works a handful of—
Wait, this is cool. I love the war buggies, and those gameplays that we saw earlier looked really nice as well.
Times does not mean it's an effective weapon, but this doesn't stop the orcs and their green tide. To really understand the power of the Wa energy, orcs can operate purely off of belief. Now, a misconception is that orcs believe something is real and it happens. But that isn't true, because
they're
that's just
manifesting
one orc. However, there's never one orc. There's normally a few billion orcs together, and if they all believe something is true, the warp will tend to respond with a positive green light. Sometimes. Do the red ones go faster? Well, with enough orcs, yeah. How does an orc buggy with an engine block that's just a boulder with vroom vroom written in chalk work? Who cares? Orcs breathing on a ship with a hull breach? Go ahead. An orc went back in time to kill a version of himself so he could have two of his favorite weapons. It is shenanigans. Because of their actions and aesthetic, the orcs tend to be presented in a comic relief sense in a lot of media, particularly the media from their perspective. They are bumbling and loud and goofy British football hooligans, and they say silly things and act in silly ways. But
British mention, lol. Rema, be happy that you're purple. An orc will never find you. Why, can they not see purple? Well, they'll find this super chat because it's green. Thank you, David Martinez.
to the citizens of the Imperium.
Oh, purple is the sneakiest color. Perfect. I never thought I would be camouflage in purple, but yeah. Actually, I knew this and I planned this. It's all part of my plan.
The orcs are far from funny. They are violent and irrational creatures that take humans for punching bags, slaves, or ultimately dinner. They have no moral compass and are violent and brutal killers that know nothing else. They are genetically designed to be a violent species that was capable of beating back the Necrons and the Catan. And if the orcs were ever able to unify under one banner, they would be utterly unstoppable. However, due to their aggressive nature, their organizational skills are non-existent, and they tend to just beat each other up for the fun of it. All that exists in the mind of an orc is fighting, and nothing else. If they wipe out their enemies, they will inevitably wipe themselves out as well. They are a brutal Ouroboros doomed to an endless war cycle, but to an orc, why does it matter? If they fight and they win, they win. If they fight and they die, it was a good fight. Now that the Xenos armies are growing in strength and more are threatening the safety of the Imperium, they need to bring new methods in order to handle what they are currently facing. The Emperor is on the Golden Throne. Half the Space Marines are traitor and they are beset from enemies within and without. So now the Lords on Terra must prepare for anything possible, and sometimes the impossible. For that, they take to the stars to explore and expand. They recruit assassins for priority eliminations, they train a galactic police force and a secret police to root out any and all heresy. The lesser known, yet most feared,
Agents of the Imperium.
I carry with me an inquisitorial seal. It is a small, unassuming object contained in a neat box of Pluvian obsidian. It is a modest thing, relatively plain, adorned with a single motif and a simple motto. Yet with this little object, I can sign the death warrant of an entire world and consign 1 billion souls to oblivion. Where the Imperium may see its justice dealt out by the hands of its armies and the gauntlets of its
So they're the witch hunters, pretty much.
When one needs eyes, ears, or both cut out, it looks to the agents of the Imperium. In a meta sense, these agents are a homogenized version of multiple factions from the original video 5 years ago. They comprise multiple aspects of the wide and all-encompassing armies of humanity and serve different roles. Whether it be the law enforcers of the Adeptus Arbites, the void-faring explorers of rogue traders, the invisible hand of the Assassinorum, or the hospitality of the Emperor's Inquisition. Each has a part to play in the God Emperor's domain.
I like
rogue
this
traders are a great example of a somewhat undiscussed part of the Imperium. Its nobility. While you may see the General Imperium as a totalitarian hellscape, because it is, this is to those under the boot of the nobles that run it. Rogue traders are a special kind of explorer, and their existence is extremely important to the function of the Imperium. A rogue trader is often an extremely special individual and is given the monumentally sized warrant of trade, allowing them to be given almost complete and utter freedom. Their task.
But then how are they rogue if they've been given that task by the Imperium? That's not rogue, that's official trader, isn't it? Clickbait. Clickbait job description
is simple. To chart the uncharted, learn the unlearned, and do whatever they can as an explorer and conquistador for those back on Terra. This information is, strictly speaking, invaluable. Whether a sector can be settled and colonies built, or precious rare resources exist on a floating asteroid can be mined, or a long-lost Imperial world from the Age of Strife is recovered, it's all absolutely imperative.
You're kind of like an adventurer then.
Rogue traders are faster than any other kind of Imperial armada and therefore chart the direction of the entire society. Because of this, rogue traders are given a substantial amount of freedom. They have a ship and a crew of specialists.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
And can do things that would see any normal person shot.
I'd be one of them. I'd be the rogue traders, I guess.
They can barter deals and even recruit Xenos races. They can explore areas strictly prohibited, and they can earn a vast amount of wealth and riches in doing so. This tends to make rogue traders a very long lineage, and their heirs take up the mantle of their house. By being explorers, they become fabulously wealthy, and some can become quite the assholes while doing so. But truly, much like a night pilot, a rogue trader is an exceptionally rich individual who can back it up.
Oh, they're pirates! That's even better. They're pirates. The only government that can kill them is the Imperium. Oh.
Master swordsmen, explorers, merchants, settlers, diplomats, and everything in between. They chart a course and they set the grounds, which means they will need someone to defend them, and the prime choice for that can be the Adeptus Arbites. Now, the Arbites are cops, Judge Dredd style cops, as their inspiration clearly shows. Each planet will have their own members of local law enforcement, and most of them will settle many of the issues there and then. But when something requires a far more in-depth peacekeeping force, the Adeptus Arbites are brought in. Think local police versus the FBI. Arbitrators in the Arbites tend to focus heavily on stopping crime before it can become too much of a threat. A criminal gang or heretical uprising can be subdued quickly and efficiently by utilizing them and dealing with soon-to-be criminals, as they put it. They will tap into communications, create spy networks, do interrogations and sabotage, anything that helps the good of the Imperium and the law they seek to preserve. The Code of the Arbites is laid out entirely via the Book of Judgment, a gigantic library of pages showing every single law from every single High Lord of Terra in the history of the Imperium. Because the Imperium is so vast, hundreds of laws are added every single day, and the library continues to grow with more and more laws and judgments. While Arbites themselves carry a small version called the Book of Law on their person, this does end up creating a system where the unjustly prosecuted will never escape their prisons. If an innocent is wrongly convicted, any form of legal counsel will need to go through the Book of Judgment to help get you out. Often these prisoners require hundreds of years of litigation, in which they will eventually expire before they can be deemed wrongly convicted. Innocence is irrelevant.
They're so cooked. That's unfair. Has nobody memorized the Book of Judgment yet? They'd be an OP lawyer. We need to get that lawyer dude from JJK and Ace Attorney on the case.
You have been judged guilty of transgressing the Lex Imperialis. Do not compound your guilt by evading punishment, as there are greater crimes, so are there greater sentences. Of course, should something go out of the hands of the Adeptus Arbites, there is always the silent hand of the Officio Assassinorum to take their place. Naturally, the Imperium has assassins, and these assassins are sent to dispatch important figures that would not normally be handled by simply sending waves and waves of guardsmen at it. The Assassinorum is headed by the Grand Master of the Assassinorum, who is a High Lord of Terra and perhaps the shadiest individual in the entire galaxy. At his disposal are—
Dude, the Discord notifications in the video are freaking me out. Oh, it looks like the image isn't really fit to the screen. Oh, there we go. That's better.
Multiple types of assassins that all specialize in various things. Their training is extreme and absurd. Aspirant children are often subjected to Hunger Games style combat with each other on the ride over to the temple. Then you get low gravity, high pressure, traps, horrendous physical and mental strain, and everything in between. Then their minds are wiped completely and the real fun begins. An Imperial assassin is nothing to mess around with. They are some of the fastest moving and hardest hitting things the Imperium has at hand, and can go toe to toe with Space Marines depending on which temple they are from. Some, like the Vindicares, are master snipers who lie in wait for weeks, days, or even months just to get the perfect headshot from 5 kilometers away and disappear. The Calidus Temple are masters of shape-shifting and take a drug that allows them to transmute their body into whatever they see fit.
Wow.
A confidant of a target may be killed and they will take their place before killing their target outright. Or they could shift into a member of a Chaos Warband with symbols and flesh and all that to earn the trust of a cult leader before slitting their throat.
That's useful.
The Caluxus Assassin is a psychic blank, a soulless mutation, making them appear as uneasy to normal humans and downright disgusting to psychers. When a powerful psycher is causing issues, this is who you send. Their specialized helmet enhances their already latent powers and will allow them to...
Oh, it's like a Magneto helmet. Literally, like, you know, to stop Charles Xavier from reading his mind and controlling him.
All but drain the souls from those they touch and their very body. It is an extreme weapon used when a direct form of pressure must be applied to an otherwise untouchable psyker. Now, if you needed direct pressure in a more literal way, the Eversor is for you. A drugged up comatose psychopath that is directly dropped on enemy lines and allowed to wreak havoc, killing anything and everything it sees in a blaze of movement and blood before it inevitably dies and causes a plasma explosion on its demise. There are other temples as well, the Vanis Temple acting as sort of like a cyber hacker, the Venom Temple specializing in poisons, but all in all, assassins move with their skin-tight body gloves with a speed unmatched and force unexpected. One of the best assassin novels puts a Vindicare, Calidus, and Vanis to infiltrate a night world, kill the High Monarch of the Night, who is permanently stuck in his giant robot knight, install a new ruler in his stead, and make sure nobody knows the Imperium did it. Their missions are insanity, and their tasks impossible, and they do it anyway. Thus is the power the Assassinorum wields.
That's like every Warhammer faction.
We do not decide the punishment. We are merely the cold instrument of the Emperor's vengeance. There is no form of death unknown to us. There is no form of terror beyond our means. There is no enemy outside our reach. We are the blade that hovers over the throat of the traitor. We are the bullet that awaits the heretic's skull. We are the poison in the throat of the alien. However, despite the prowess of the traitors, the police, and the assassins, there is one that stands above all. As the Imperium settled into its post-Emperor world, they needed a force to root out corruption wherever it could be found. But they needed specialized individuals who could do so. Men and women who would serve as detective and executioner. This new secret police would have unlimited authority, and they would be known as the Inquisition. Inquisitors of the Inquisition are one of the...
I was gonna say I hate them, but then I saw her and she's kind of hot, so now I'm torn.
Most feared individuals in all of the galaxy for the common members of humanity. Trained in the most difficult of conditions and mental hardening, they have long closed their minds to the compassions of those they deem guilty. Inquisitors are, for the most part, detectives, but they are detectives whose authority is unmatched and actions justified by the state itself. Similar to the KGB, the Gestapo, the Stasi, the OVRA, but unlike those organizations, the Inquisition has far more authority and is one of the only types of individuals who can commit exterminatus, the term used for the utter and total destruction of a planet that is no longer deemed usable by
they're the big bad.
While it is a very exciting word and a commonly notable thing done in Warhammer, exterminatus is not actually used particularly often. It's a last resort entirely meant to stop the enemy from
It's like Buster Call from One Piece.
Gaining a major foothold or spread even more corruption.
Hey, Crow.
Even with 1,000,000 worlds, the wholesale slaughter of an entire planet is still a massive blow to the Imperium. Inquisitors range quite a bit, not just in how they operate, but also in their personalities. They are often main characters for a large amount of books, as detective noir is a great genre, and they can be the most stone-cold killer or a pragmatic and sympathetic individual depending on who they are. Radical Inquisitors may utilize methods unlike most of the Imperium, such as alien tech or even demon hosts, where Puritans stick closer to the methods of the religious state and shun any deviations. They also specialize in various aspects, as the Inquisition has orders or ordos, such as Xenos for aliens, Malleus for demons, and Hereticus for, you guessed it. Truly, if you are a normal citizen of the Imperium, a person flashing an inquisitorial rosette in front of you may be one of the most terrifying moments of your entire life.
Yeah.
It is the same as an FBI badge or a KGB member, except now—
Okay, but the rosette looks so cool, though. They should make merch of that.
you're in Warhammer. So, their authority and tools are infinite. Agents of the Imperium are vast and offer a ton of different concepts to the world of Warhammer, and they continue to expand as the Emperor's descent into the Golden Throne has lasting effects on humanity. As time progressed, a few people seeing the Emperor as a deity made their voices louder, and over a few thousand years, worship of the Emperor was not only considered expected, but state mandated. This church will be known as the Ecclesiarchy, and there were many who would look to
the incense in one hand and the whip in the other. Damn. Did you do something for your hair? Rema, you look great. Oh my god, thank you. Yeah, I got a new haircut. I'm glad you like it.
cardinal position and make desperate grabs at their power, leaving horrid effects on the populace. The Age of Apostasy was a time of reformation in the Imperium that saw its eventual change into an overtly religious empire. During this time, an all-female warrior cult to the Emperor called the Daughters of the Emperor were a bit more isolated from the wider Imperium. However, as the Ecclesiarchy began to take root, one Goj Van Dyer became the High Lord of the Administratum and noticed these warriors and felt they could be useful to him. Goj himself told these warriors that he was the voice of the Emperor himself and demanded they fire upon him to prove it. Having a little hidden force field that this warrior cult had never seen before, the bullet bounced off of him and showing him to be unharmed, truly blessed by the Emperor. This cult became known—
So it was a trick? He tricked them?
—as the Brides of the Emperor and acted as his personal bodyguards and aides. However, Goj Van Dyer was a tyrant, and his horrendous reign spelled ruination for the wider Imperium.
Wait, why were they the brides? He's not a bride.
Which made the Adeptus Custodes take notice. Despite an outright coup and revolt against him, the deadlock was getting steep as the Brides of the Emperor's fierce combat skills kept him safe. One custodian made contact with the leader of the Brides and brought her into the throne room of the Emperor himself.
Oh, they're his brides? Oh, okay, so it's like in every cult, you know? Where they're like, I need your wife to sleep with me. God has told me this. Lydia, VTuber Voz, did you start streaming on a new channel, Lydia? Hello, Lydia viewers. How you doing? Welcome, everybody. We're just reacting to a Warhammer video. I hope you like my new, well, I got a new haircut. Yeah.
Nobody knows what transpired in that room, save for Alicia Dominica, the custodian, and the Emperor himself. However, she left the room with her hair bleached pure white from the interaction, marched her battle brides directly to Van Dyer himself and said, "You have committed the ultimate heresy. Not only have you turned your back on the Emperor and stepped from his light, you have profaned his name and almost destroyed everything he has striven to build. You have perverted and twisted the path he has laid for mankind to tread. As your decrees have stated, there can be no mercy for such a crime, no pity for such a criminal. I renounce your lordship. You walk in the darkness and cannot be allowed to live. Your sentence has been long overdue, and it is now time for you to die." Despite not having any time to die, Goj Van Dyer found some time to do so. With his head lopped clean from his body, the brides of the Emperor were no more, and the Ecclesiarchy signed a document to stop Van Dyer's reign from happening again. They would no longer be allowed to have men under arms. Men.
Wait, I can't read this. So there's gonna be hot women next. I'm gonna like this faction, I bet. Hey, Ozzy. Yeah, are you streaming for a new channel, Lydia?
Adeptus Sororitas, or commonly known as the Sisters of Battle, the nuns with guns, the fighting force of the church. Despite being the main militant faction, the Sisters of Battle, their organization actually is far more diverse than this and have many more nun-based roles for their members. They are organized by various orders with various specialties in mind, such as the non-militant orders like the Hospitaller, Dialogus, and Familius, including things like helping with surgical equipment and various other medical stuff, Duolingo, and a poli-sci degree. These orders are further separated into smaller orders in an almost Space Marine chapter sense, but tend to have more flexibility due to the nature of their work. And in addition to that, there is flexibility between the orders. It is not uncommon for a member of one of the more battle-hardened orders to switch to a more passive one once they've sustained battlefield injuries or are a bit closer to retirement. As mentioned before, the Sisters of Battle are a part of their own separate organization, the Order's Militant, and feature the highest number of any given system. They are the official fighting force of the ecclesiarchy, and they specialize in wars of faith.
They're
Unlike
so cool.
the deployment of Astartes and Guardsmen, the Sisters of Battle are often deployed with members of the Inquisitorial Ordo Hereticus due to the holy war nature of their battles. The Sisters of Battle are suited up with their own form of specialized power armor that gives them almost like a Joan of Arc vibe to the battle.
Yeah.
Though lacking the more extreme modifications of a Space Marine's power armor, mainly to the fact that Sisters are, for the most part, regular humans, the power armor of a Sister of Battle almost matches the defensive power of an Astartes, but with added flexibility and versatility in exchange for strength. Some of the patterns of armor do allow for the enhancing of genetics, but this is far from the norm. This, combined with an arsenal of tanks and vehicles that have literal church organ rocket
Dude, the fire sword is badass.
launchers on them, really brings across the holy war vibe in a gothic manner. Accompanying a Sister of Battle in the fields of war is the holy trinity of weaponry: the bolter, the flamer, and the melta. With such a simple loadout, the Sisters of Battle are able to bring down the glorious flames of the Emperor himself, and his holy light shines on them in other ways during a conflict. Hell, even their jump packs evoke angelic imagery as opposed to the more clunky jetpacks, ones that Space Marines have. In times of great turmoil,
and they have like that crown and wings?
Or impossibility, a living saint of the sororitas itself might appear on the battlefield surrounded by a litany of doves and cherubs, an almost comical scene of holy glory followed by literal hellfire. The Sisters are a fascinating organization because they take what is normally seen as a benevolent force and turn it on its head to be a horrifying method of war. Because the Sisters are so zealous, they are nigh impossible to persuade and almost never fall to chaos. In fact, any deviation from the Imperial faith may see you killed outright as you are deemed a heretic, and sometimes Sisters have even less patience than the Inquisition does. To the Adeptus Sororitas, no punishment is too extreme for blasphemy and heretical behavior, whether it's lobotomizing traitors to use as shock troops or attaching them physically to agonizing pain engines so they can die for the Emperor. Anything goes. The most fascinating part of the Sisters, however, is their faith. We discussed how orcs often make things happen through belief because of their sheer number of them. The Sisters create miracles where they walk. They are not many psychers like orcs, but they are excessively devout and make up for that. Bullets barely miss targets they absolutely should hit. Guns jam, tanks malfunction, enemies slip and fall. The scene from Pulp Fiction is an accurate portrayal of what happens when the Sisters fight.
I'd knock that shit off if I was you.
Die, you motherfucker!
Uh-oh.
One of the most prominent figures is the triumph of
God's power's on their side. I mean the Emperor. Sorry, I didn't want to be heretic.
St. Catherine, a literal open casket with the saint of a Sister's order held aloft by lobotomized servant cherubs and protected by bodyguards of the faithful. The devotion...
They've got lobotomized servant cherubs? No shot.
To the Emperor's swell so strong that acts of faith are made manifest, and sometimes angels themselves. When the sisters go to war, they have thundering organs and litanies screeching out into the battlefield, hymns and songs. They rabble off prayers on their lips and burn.
But they're kind of nightmarish at the same time when they go to war. It must be scary.
Burn holy fire across the area. They spray holy water down from horns atop their vehicles. It is a genuine holy war, a procession of death. Saint Celestine is an undying deity, arriving precisely where she is needed and returning to the fold after each death. When she dies, she sees a crying young girl atop a mountain of bones. Her bones after every one of her deaths. She climbs this mountain every time to help comfort this crying child and is rebirthed upon the battlefield. And one day, her deaths will create a mountain so large that even she will not be able to traverse it. Is she a demon of the God Emperor? Perhaps, but she'll be shot for saying so. She is genuinely and literally faith made manifest. Some sisters may make a mistake, however, and find themselves questioning their faith, disobeying a command, and even leaving their order. These sisters are sent for reconditioning and are known as the Sisters Repentia. They generally face the front of the line head on and seek retribution and forgiveness from the Emperor himself.
This art looks so cool.
Though their actions were heretical, repentia on the fields of battle is an indication of an individual wanting to become forgiven. They run aloft with torture devices attached to their bodies and a chainsword the size of their body, completely armorless, to determine if this is how they die or if the Emperor will forgive them. Even the most famous champion of the sisters, that Saint Celestine, was a repentia. Even she questioned her faith. And if she can do it, so can you. Just don't run away again. They don't really do third chances. The Sisters of Battle are martyrdom-enthused zealots that create miracles in their tread. Their devotion
kind of reminds me of the Lady Farnese and her faction in Berserk.
Devotion is boundless and also a direct source of their power. A whole army of power-armored soldiers shooting, burning, and melting all in their path is bad enough, but it enters a whole different level when God is on your side. By bolter shell, flamer burst, and melta blast, the mutant, the heretic, and the traitor alike are cleansed of their sin of existence. So has it been.
Reiko, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you. Yeah, use your Prime guys if you have them on the Twitch side. Don't forget about them. They're kind of just sitting there. Yeah, and in Berserk, they're like light people, or sorry, I don't even know how to call them. Like, they're religious fanatics people. They're so devout in one part of the book that they, like, their chief is like a demon, but he's like this light demon.
For 5 millennia, so shall it be until the end of time. The Imperium devolving into wars of faith is to push its agenda further. Where the xenophobic nature of humanity was once strong, it has now been magnified, and there are plenty of aliens in this galaxy. 6,000 years prior to the current events of 40K, a planet was found by an AdMech exploration vessel. The life forms on the planet were seen using tools, but they were still very primitive, so the planet was marked for destruction to pave the way for the Imperial war machine. However, this was thrown off because of the extreme warp storm and that whole Doge Van Dyer thing. Flash forward to modern day, and an unknown but highly advanced vessel was shot down near an Imperial mining world, and the bodies on this vessel matched those life forms found on that primitive world. The native creatures on that planet were able to evolve rapidly due to them being unobstructed, and their highly advanced gear posed a new threat to the Imperium. Advancing over these years with a remarkable speed, these are the new upstarts in the galaxy, looking to make a name for themselves, all in the name of the greater good. These are the
what?
The alien is not intrinsically evil. Do not hate him. Pity him his ignorance.
Bye,
Seek
Chucky.
to understand his differences and acquaint him with his inadequacies. Only then will he accept his place in the greater good. The early
Tau?
history of the Tau is chaotic at best. Due to their extreme speed run to space travel, their journey to the stars were
Yeah, so are they the actual good guys is what I'm getting? Because everybody's actually kind of a bad guy so far. What about the psyches? No, the psychers. I feel like they should have their own faction. I think they're kind of cool. Well, before they go crazy.
overburdened with inner conflict. It wasn't until the appearance of the Ethereals that things began to settle. These Tau to the warring tribes marked their unification under one common belief: the greater good of the Tau Va.
What about the greater good?
The greater good.
How can this be for the greater good?
The greater good.
This system is a caste-based system that seeks to unify and organize the Tau into an effective and successful society while
The Tau are not human, thus they are bad. You sound like you're on the human faction. Good guys, that's heresy. The only good one is the God Emperor.
working for their mutual benefit. These castes, in order from lowest to highest, are the Fire or Shas caste, which is soldiers, Earth/Theo, which is manufacturers and industrialists, the Water or Hor, being diplomats and traders, and the Air/Kor, being navy officers. Also, you have the Ethereal/Un, which is the lords and leaders of the Tau. Now, unlike the paths of the Eldar, the Tau don't get any say into which caste they're in. It's determined upon birth due to inheritance from a parent. Trying to deviate from your caste or trying to do tasks or even use tools assigned to another caste is a grievous crime against the Ethereals, and those guilty of this crime.
Yeah, these guys haven't been tempted by the harshness of the galaxy. They're pure souls, chat. They're pure souls. Give them a chance. They're like little babies.
And to be sent to re-education camps, which sounds not so greater good, but a greater good than the good that the Imperium sees as greater. The guidance of the greater good also encourages the growth of the Empire through the absorption of other races and cultures. The expansion of the Tau Empire is split into spheres of time. So far, there have been 5 spheres of expansion, with a 6th one being planned in the current timeline. The first 2 spheres saw the Tau move beyond their homeworld and settle new planetary systems, known as Seps, and absorb multiple
I hear heresy, man. No, don't send me to the sexy Inquisitor girls.
races into their ranks. But the 3rd sphere is where we see the Tau interact with the Imperium for the first time, which went about as well as you think it did. The Tau, as
They got
mentioned
crushed.
before, are highly advanced compared to some of the other species in the galaxy, and
Are
their
they-
military tactics are
Are there more advanced than the Mechanicums? Because these guys stopped advancing. Orcs have the least evil, they just want to fight and kill all in good fun. Yeah, fun! I guess that's fine, damn.
highly precise. Instead of the Imperial methodology of throwing everything at a problem, the Tau carefully assess any battle and take as many precautions as possible. Commonly, you will see a Tau warrior in a heavily modified battle suit with advanced targeting systems. The Tau do not often consider close combat to be
They literally look like Destiny characters.
something very effective, so they don't really put much stock into it. Their Gundam-like battlesuits have a multitude of functionality, ranging from overwhelming firepower to stealth-based combat, and since they're an upstart species with a bit of technical flair, they have plenty of AI drones that help them in the field of battle. In addition to this, the Tau are also joined in the field of battle by some of the species that have been absorbed into the fold of the greater good. These auxiliaries often employ tactics of the
What are your favorite factions so far? It's a hard one. I like the Dark Mechanicums. I like the cat people. I like the clown people because I think their outfits are cool. And I like the adventurers on the human side.
Tau are unable to do on their end, such as the brute force and almost primitive nature of the Kroot, combined with the Geonosian aerial shock attack style of the Vespens. But the Tau assimilate more and more species with time, including even some humans who wish to break off from the Imperium for pick a reason. The aesthetic of the Tau also leans a bit more into the East Asian sci-fi aesthetics. The large mech suits definitely evoke that Gundam look, but the general garb of their higher-ups kind of create that motif, and they often have accents in the games that they are in. But while Tau are looked at as Gundam mech faction by some, others enjoy them for the full coalition of aliens. One of my favorite images in Warhammer is this official artwork by Games Workshop. Now, not a single one of these aliens are a faction in Warhammer, and yet they all are different species that do exist in this universe. The Milky Way galaxy is vast, and while the Imperium and many others exterminate what they can find, the Tau will assimilate those that can be assimilated. The Kroot and Vespens we already discussed, and the humans and also Votann will join them at times, but you also have the Galg, the Nigasar, the Vorg, the Thraxian, the Terrellian, Greet, Domati, and many others. Some of these are just one-off lines, and some are major players in the civilization. The Nigasar are, for lack of a better word, gigantic psychic polar bears.
What do you mean, where am I? I'm right here! My Xeno costume? What's my Xeno costume? Chad said I'd fit right into the Warhammer universe. What fashion did you guys say I would look like? The Primarch? I can't remember what you guys said.
With bird-like faces. The Tau
Wait,
have
these are
psychic
cute!
bears. And the fact I haven't seen this is a crime. The Tau as a culture are generally marred by the various issues that an advanced civilization would have in an unadvanced galaxy. They do not travel through the warp because of the insane dangers, but instead use a more classic FTL jump. However, because they aren't going through hell, it makes them a lot slower than many other races.
I love the owl bears.
The Imperium might surf through hell and lose a few ships, but they will get there first. Often they will take enormous cannons and weaponry and defeat their foes before they can even close the gap. One of their light walkers carried a weapon of lethal effect. It fired a form of ultra-high velocity projectile. I saw one of our tanks after being hit by it. There was a small hole punched in either flank. One, the projectile's entry point, the other its exit. The tiny munition had passed through the vehicle with such speed that everything within the hole not welded down had been sucked out through the exit hole, including the crew. We never identified their bodies, for all that remained of them was a red stain upon the ground, extending some 20 meters from the wreck. The fascination of the Tau is that in any other modern day world, their society would be horrid. Rigid caste systems, corruption, and politicking ethereals, and basically it's the greater good or nothing at all. But in the world of Warhammer, the simple fact that humans are accepted into their sphere should they please already puts them far and above the other races that would murder or eat them. But despite this, the existential dread that is the Tau Empire is ever so apparent. Despite being hyper advanced and welcoming a coalition of aliens, they are the upstarts, and they are painfully outnumbered on all sides. Almost any other faction in the universe, given the right amount of force, can wipe out the Tau Empire from existence. They themselves might not be perfect, but their slight glimmer of hope is exactly that, a glimmer in a dark and crushing galaxy. Of course, nobody dares take the attempt to destroy the Tau Empire, because doing so is an enormous amount of resources, and for the same reason why you don't full send your whole army to one person in a commander game of Magic. You open yourself up to player 2 and 3. But not to say it won't be a struggle. The Tau Empire, when prepared, are a vicious fighting force who might delete your formation before you even see them. But they lack numbers. And in the dark corners of the galaxy, something is coming that is entirely numbers. There is a cancer eating at the Imperium. With each decade, it advances deeper, leaving drained, dead worlds in its wake. This horror, this abomination, has thought and purpose that functions on an unimaginable galactic scale, and all we can try to do is stop the swarms of bioengineer monsters it unleashes upon us by instinct. We have given the horror a name to salve our fears. We call it the Tyrannid race. But if it is aware of us at all, it must only know us as prey.
Why is it all of you guys' favorite faction? Really? They don't sound cool at all. They're bugs.
The conflicts of Warhammer 40k
Yuck.
are chaotic enough with the sheer volume.
Wait, actually, like, yo, imagine eating that thing though. It looks like it has humongous crab legs. Like, I want to eat some crab right now. Imagine all the meat there is in those crab arms.
Violence that exists in the confines of the Milky Way. However, there is a threat to the galaxy that extends beyond our known galaxy that is creeping ever closer and cannot be negotiated with. What drew them to the galaxy is unclear. It may have been the light of the Astronomicon itself, like a moth to a flame. It could have been a Xenos device detonated in the Horus Heresy. It could have been that they were done eating
for my four-armed god.
The Andromeda Galaxy, and they have come to take ours, or they might be running from something far, far worse. Regardless of the why, the where, when it came to the first official contact with these creatures, was the planet of Tyran. This is the site where the Imperium encountered a fleet of these creatures before being utterly torn to shreds. Thus, these creatures became known as the Tyranids. There is plenty of evidence that the Tyranids have been lurking in our galaxy for years beforehand, but this was the first true instance of their presence being fully known. Unlike other creatures in the realm of 40k that can be talked to, captured, or negotiated with, the Tyranids are unable to be reasoned with. They are, at their core, animals. But not the fun kind of animals. They are the xenomorphs of 40k, and boy are they hungry. They are instinctively hardwired to either kill or be killed, and they are an unrelenting force due to this. However, just because they don't talk outwardly doesn't mean they don't communicate with one another.
Yeah, they really remind me of the Zergs, like, faction in StarCraft. Well, you guys said StarCraft was a spin-off of this, or was it the other way around? I can't remember anymore. Anyway, where's Zagara?
The true horror of the Tyranids is found in their driving force, the hive mind.
3, 2, 1. Hot in here by Nelly. That's what I guess.
Oh, the Zergs were supposed to be Tyranids. I see. If the Orcs and the Tyranids fight, whoever ends up the winner will be strong enough to defeat everyone else. Yeah, probably. Cryptman's trying to prove that theory. Zergs are blatant steal. Oh, it's a theory. It's not like confirmed that StarCraft was a spin-off or whatever.
You see, the Tyranids are a collective consciousness that are all connected to a singular embodiment of psychic power that is utterly incomprehensible to the human mind. To keep this connection there, the Tyranids on the field of battle are followed around by synapse creatures, essentially serving as their Bluetooth connection to the greater hive mind. This allows them to send and receive information about the battle they're in, and it also allows them to adapt to certain situations based off of the information gained. Depending on the enemy, the swarm might be able to develop a new weapon or new tactics so they can get the upper hand.
They've got a pterodactyl! Okay, I like this faction now. Oh, Cryptman's a 40k character. Wait, so Cryptman's trying to prove what theory? Oh, he's the Inquisitor that led orcs and Tyranids to a planet to kill two birds with one stone. Oh, cool. StarCraft was a game that was supposed to be Warhammer, but they lost the rights, basically. Damn, they missed out. It would have been cool if it was Warhammer Universe.
Connection is cut, they are unable to essentially form a save state and are stranded. The sheer power of the hive mind presence pours from each Tyranid in such a manner that it causes a distortion in the warp itself. A hive fleet's arrival can cause a dark shadow the size of several light years, coined the shadow in the warp. This shadow prevents any usage of the warp, or at least makes it exceptionally difficult. Communications shut down due to astropaths being unable to talk. Ships cannot freely enter the warp, and even creatures with a warp sensitivity feel an immense dread due to it. It causes everything to just kind of sit dead, like at a buffet counter waiting for the afternoon meal rush.
Tyranids are popular with girls for some reason. Well, they seem popular with the guys in chat too. Look up the Harridan. The Harridan model. The Harridan model. 40k. Oh, cool. Well, I could see them being fun to play. Usually these kind of factions are fun to play. Oh my god, okay, it's so big. It's got all these little babies. Harridans, I guess. Is the Harridan bad? I think everything's bad in Warhammer.
The Tyranids meander through the galaxy in these gigantic hive fleets that are fueled by...
Oh yeah, if you guys have Warhammer, do you guys have Warhammer collections and figurines? That's cool. Let me know in the comments of the video or in chat.
Bioships, and these ships contain birthing pools for Tyranid armies and more ships. Everything about the Tyranids is organic, and to fuel this war machine, the Tyranids consume any and all biomass they come across and absorb it into their respective hive. From the ground to literally the air, the Tyranids strip a planet to a lifeless and uninhabitable hulk. As a means to curb the advancement of the Tyranids, the Imperium has been known to preemptively exterminatus worlds in the path of a hive fleet so that they have less biomass to consume.
Yeah, but that's just what I don't understand. If the Inquisitors can exterminatus worlds, then they can just exterminatus the... Fuck, what were they called? The Tau world. Hi, Rema, I see you're still horsing around, Snort. You have to do a snort part. Like this. I did it. I did it. I earned my super chat. Thank you, Kiwasa.
Attempt to starve them. The Halo method, literally scorched earth tactics by taking everything out of the freezer and lighting it on fire. Outside of the obvious threat and adaptive and unreasonable enemy posed on the field of battle, the most dangerous aspect of the Tyranids comes in the form of their general unpredictability. The Tyranids are external to the Milky Way galaxy itself, and it's unknown where they truly hail from. However, their arrival in the Milky Way is seemingly random and in 3D space, implying quite heavily...
Oh, they still need a massive fleet to do the exterminatus, so it's not just like a button. It's literally like a buster call, where like... Oh, so it's like a buster call where you call in the fleet. I thought it was like a button you push and there's like a big laser beam that would destroy the planet.
The Tyranids have the galaxy surrounded in some kind of way. Due to this, you will sometimes see instances of species engaged in a separate conflict, both agree to a temporary truce in order to take out a Tyranid threat. Because regardless of the stakes at hand, the existence...
Oh, okay, it's not a Death Star. Got it. Yeah, I kind of pictured it like a Death Star at one point.
...of the Tyranids marks the heat death of the galaxy itself, and all the factions can ultimately agree that the Tyranids themselves act as the biggest threat to...
Wait, that's hella useful, having 4 arms like this, so you can hold like a gun with 2 hands, hold a saber with the others. That's broken.
All of them. The Tyranid race is truly an unknowable horde, and pulls from that horror of the unknown. They, as a faction, are not ones with a large amount of general lore because their entire race is told from the point of view of those being eaten by them. Tyranids are called that due to the planet Tyran they destroyed, as we mentioned earlier, and their names are often phrases given to them by their victims. The Swarm Lord, Old One-Eye, the...
You know, I was gonna make a joke with that monster and like how some girl like Bao would like this, but you know, I made a joke about how girls like monsters in my last video, and there was a lot of people that were upset. They were like, we're tired of being made fun of. I was like, it's just a joke. It's like saying, you know, you're into furry. Of course there's gonna be people making jokes about it. I think Screechin likes these for the tentacles, of course.
Death Leaper, Von Ryan's Leapers, and so on. Despite the inability to even perceive the vast psychic hive mind of the Tyranids, they are fiercely intelligent. Special poisons and items designed to counter them are adapted in a matter of hours. If you bring light infantry, they create heavy monsters. If you brought weapon emplacements, they spawn little creatures to scour your vents and sewers.
Oh, God.
Many of you enjoyed the Servitor excerpt from part 1, and so bear with me as I provide you another very long account of a planetary governor whose planet is in the final death throes of the Tyranid menace. This starts about halfway through. It has been many weeks since a handful of us escaped.
Wait, that wasn't a weapon, that was his arm? Damn.
the sinking of the Seafort Divine Anchor via airlift. We have escaped in this manner because the Tyranids had overwhelmed so much of our world, they no longer appeared to need to continue spawning beasts for aerial supremacy. I shall never forget what I saw from my craft's portholes. Alien biostructures dominated Huto's surface. Gigantic, lumpen barnacles pumped out clouds of matter to further poison the planet alongside pulsating, brain-like nodes that resembled lethal fungi. Immense capillary towers stretched high into the poisoned sky. The glistening chitin coating their flanks crawled over by chains of lesser beasts fulfilling some sick alien purpose I cannot know. Digestion pools spread for miles, replacing our once great lakes with reservoirs of bubbling biomatter. Tides of creatures bloated with consumed flesh vomited their guts into the pools or threw themselves entirely into the billowous liquid. Amidst the seas of feeder beasts consuming all in their path, we would every so often see an explosion or a burst of fire. Were these heroic final stands by other survivors, or merely abandoned ordnance detonating at random? I will never know. I cannot rejoice in the deaths they inflicted. The biomatter of the dead Xenos was surely recycled by the Xenos regardless in no time at all. Our aircraft ran out of fuel a week ago. Now I stand in the snow, not far from the peak of Mont Saint Hila. I am the only one left that I know. One by one, those with me perished. The slightest cut on a mountain rock resulted in an immediate infection that left the pilot screaming in agony.
Ooh.
Her co-pilot fired the shot that ended her torture, and my senior aide threw himself from a ledge. The reality that there was
TLDR, it's going great!
No escape hitting him. I have no idea what happened to my chief medicae. Others were slain by lone beasts. The rest of us were unable to.
This is like me when I find a letter or a piece of paper in Resident Evil 2.
Kill or drive away. A justly deserved end will soon be mine. I have failed on every possible level. We were not even able to send word. An alien disease has me within its grasp. My limbs are numb, my tongue is dry as sand, my head throbs. Even at these chilled heights, I sweat profusely. From here where I sit, I can see the final death unfold on the planet entrusted to me. Before me is the Radarin Ocean. The water level is visibly dropping, hour by hour. They are even taking our seas. There are enormous beasts with great, slowly flapping wings and immense open maws moving through the sky. I may be at high altitude, but the
Yeah, it sounds like hell.
air is thinner here than it should be. I know enough of mountaineering to know that. They will not even leave our air. There is an isthmus I can see, upon which is sat one of the Xenos capillary towers. Now I believe I can tell what they are truly for. High up, foul Xenos bioships cling to their flanks like twisted calves at their mother's udders. They are feasting, I am sure, hungrily filling themselves to burst on the hideous gruels that are what remains of my people. I have witnessed the planet's death from sinister start to hideous conclusion. I see the power of our foe, and though I have shown boundless weakness these past months, I do not see how we could ever have won. If this is any sort of...
Not wrong. Kiwasa, boys like monsters too. We call it monmusu. It's a thing, particularly centaur girls. Harpy girls and Lamias are popular. I know, Nuzagi's into that. He loves monster girls. I didn't know they had a name for it. That's interesting.
Good news, it seems that one thing that might be an inadvertent repellent effect on the Tyranids is chaos. Chaos and chaotic energies offer no nourishment to the Tyranids, they cannot eat that. And the presence of rifts and warp storms work as a means to starve out the Tyranid fleet. The Tyranids, of course, are attempting to adapt to this, but it seems that even at the most
What's an S-booter girl?
primal core of the galaxy itself, Chaos agrees that these dinner guests are not welcome in any way, shape, or bioform. In the end, though, the Tyranids represent the final fears of the galaxy itself. Despite the goals to conquer the galaxy as a whole, the remainder of the universe may very well be dead and derelict space. Instead of endless worlds and solar systems, it may just be bones and ash. The tendrils of the hive mind have wrapped themselves around the galaxy, and the only thing that's guaranteed is that dinner is served. However, the Tyranids are not simply the
although it depends who's going to be for dinner.
Unending hordes of bugs. Beyond the more general buffet tactics of the force of the Tyranids, the hive mind has a more secretive and dangerous means of planetary conquest in the form of something a bit more terrestrial. General upheaval and revolution. However, though the idea of a societal revolt for the good of the populace is an admirable thing, these leaders have the nefarious intent of the hive mind itself. These are the downtrodden and the oppressed, the revolutionaries to a better cause, the heralds of the Star Children. These are the in the sunless body of our hive, the flock of the faithful grows. We are guided by our great father's sacred vision, protected by his loving hands. Within these
okay, but I'm surprised at their level of like writing style and literature. They can write like this, these bugs?
Holy shadows we dwell, while the impure bathe in spire-topped starlight. And what lies between those stars? What sails beyond those distant suns? Shrouded in night, born within that eternal black, our redeemers, our gods, truer than the silent, long-dead emperor, the children of the void. We hear them in our dreams, we feel them in our blood. They call and we will answer. We will rise and claim the engines of labor that have bound us in servitude. This world will burn. It will be cleansed, purified, made ready, and the heavens will deliver our reward. The ground zero of a gene stealer cult comes in the form.
Good night, OZ fans as well. Bye-bye. Oh, they're almost like the Cthulhu cult. Got it.
Of the gene stealer itself. Deep in the depths of a planet, a gene stealer acts as almost an advanced recon unit for the Tyranids, and were the first Tyranid units encountered by the Imperium itself long before the first Hive Fleet made its presence known. Unlike the Tyranids that can only reproduce through the birthing pools in the fleet,
oh, these were the enemies writing about them. Okay.
a gene stealer reproduces via the big smooch. The gene stealer kiss is essentially what the facehugger alien does. It attaches to a victim and releases an embryo. However, instead of a chest burster, the embryo alters the genetic makeup of the host itself, turning it into the primary conductor of a localized version of the hive mind known as the brood mind. Any offspring that this host produces is known as a gene stealer hybrid, and the host assures their survival to continue to reproduce. The first few generations of a gene stealer hybrid look more like the gene stealer itself, which in our current reality would be terrifying. But considering how the vast majority of humanity is a little mutated in 40K, it doesn't stand out as much as it should. As the generations continue, the mutations and the general alien look is almost entirely phased out.
That guy doesn't stand out? Like, come on.
And the resulting hybrids look almost identical to the species that they once were.
He's got 4
Due
arms!
to the size of most worlds, the makings of a gene stealer cult can exist almost entirely in secret, generation after generation. After a certain period of time, those hybrids will make their way into generalized society. Still connected to the mind of the gene stealer itself, the hybrids operate with the express goal of gaining power within society itself in a political and religious sense. Most of the time, they will present themselves as revolutionaries, looking for the
Yeah, that was Bob from accounting. He looks a little different.
betterment of the population. And honestly, it sounds great for a lot of the folks on the planet. By the people, for the people. As they expand more openly, the crossbreeding continues until all aspects of the planet's society is infiltrated. However, all bets are off when a hive fleet comes close enough. When a Tyranid hive fleet gets close enough to a planet, the brood mind activates essentially an endgame scenario. The once political and religious leaders become bloodthirsty fanatics that work to finalize the collapse of society and the death of those who oppose them. But to those in the brood mind, the god they believe in is coming, and this is wholly justice and vindication for their religious and political beliefs. As the Hive arrives, the planet is essentially ripe for the taking. The original Gene Stealer pieces out to the next world or is reabsorbed for deployment elsewhere, and the Tyranids begin to take the planet for themselves. The cultists sing praises and holy songs as the Tyranids begin to eat everything up in kind of a meet the pyro sense of religious delusion. But as they are harvested, some of them are snapped back to reality, oops, there goes gravity, before they are thrown into the biomass soup. For a fleeting second, they see that this was all a ruse to consume the world and that their false gods were a bunch of hungry bugs. The cultists essentially put the checkerboard dining cloth on the table for them and invited them for a feast. Due to the constant redeployment of Gene Stealers, there are known cults that pop up across the Imperium itself. Some of the more well-known ones are the Cult of the Bladed Cog or the Rusted Claw, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, of different cults that keep popping up all over the galaxy as the Gene Stealers spread. And due to their covert means taking over the planet, they are not generally viewed to be a threat until it is far too late. And due to the know-how of Gene Stealers, they tend to be predatory to those in the lower classes of a given planet. The Gene Stealer cults overall have really come into their own, commercially and artistically. They have very much embraced the revolutionaries aesthetic and crafted a fascinating method in doing so. It's this great combination of this pseudo-Marxist Bolshevik uprising mixed with the hills have eyes in the populace. What's particularly enjoyable about their uprising is that often from their point of view, the reasons they have are extremely justified. Most of the members of the GSC are the extremely impoverished and menial laborers of the Imperium, who honestly wouldn't need an alien presence to provide a manifesto on reasons to revolt. Their weapons are all makeshift and often involve things like mining lasers, drilling saws, demolition charges, giant stop signs. Their political machinations work quite well, as the cult ends up being really good at it.
So they keep like their reason, like they keep their minds.
Assassination, especially when you have a third arm holding a pistol beneath all those robes. They're a faction rife with fascination and culture, and their plans are generations in the making, to the end goal of being thrown right back into the soup by the star children they prepared the world for. And those are the threats to the galaxy now.
Well, they're kind of anarchist as well then. If they're preparing the world for destruction.
The degradation of almost every species is now behest by the Tyranid menace, and all of the infighting between each and every single one of them will be their undoing. The world of Warhammer is a bleak and horrendous one, and that is in its own right the charm. It is so large, so vast, so absolutely horrendous and insane, and yet is treated with 100% severity and seriousness. In the beginning of part 1, I gave you an abridged and different opening to the Warhammer world, the grim darkness of the far future, and I leave you with this part 2 with the full quote itself. It is the 41st millennia. For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth.
Unknowingly, so they don't know that they're gonna end up dinner. Wow.
He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and master of 1,000,000 worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology. He is the carrion lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day so that he may never truly die. Yet even in his deathless state, the Emperor continues his eternal vigilance. Mighty battle fleets across the demon-infested miasma of the warp, the only route between distant stars, their way lit by the Astronomicon, the psychic manifestation of the Emperor's will. Vast armies give battle in his name on uncounted worlds. Greatest amongst his soldiers are the Adeptus Astartes, the Space Marines, bioengineered super warriors. Their comrades in arms are Legion, the Imperial Guard, and countless planetary defense forces, the ever-vigilant Inquisition, and the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus, to name only a few. But for all their multitudes, they are barely enough to hold off the ever-present threat from aliens, heretics, mutants, and worse.
I like that heretics is like sandwiched between aliens and mutants and worse.
To be a man in such times is to be one amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. These are the tales of those times. Forget the power of technology and science, for so much has been forgotten, never to be relearned. Forget the promise of progress and understanding, for in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. There is no peace amongst the stars, only an eternity of carnage and slaughter and the laughter of thirsting gods.
Wow, I got all kinds of shivers when he read that. That's so good. I love the way this was written. Oh my god, that was good. That was
Thank you
great.
so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Great video. Yeah, I know you guys want me to check out some other creators as well, and we'll get to it eventually. This was really great. As much as people blame humanity for being very hostile, can you blame them? Look at the neighbors, bro. Little demons from hell and bug. Yeah, I mean, they had to become demonic themselves to fight them off, I guess. Which is crazy. Yes, I've become my true self, Zinyo. You should see Sanguinius' wall speech. Yeah, another time. I love this writing style in general. The neighbors. Wait, what the fuck is this?
See? Easy. I'm gonna get bored soon of how good I am at this game. Give me a real fucking challenge. Oh shit, wait, they start moving now. Wait, they start Oh, beans. What is this? Oh, I play this all the time. I love this game. All I did was I was just stacking beans. I was very good at menial labor. Is that what it's called? Menial? I can just pick up more beans. Oh wait, that's a lot of beans now. That's a lot of beans, guys. That's a lot of beans. Guys, why do we have anvils in the bean truck? Okay, that's fine. The beans dying doesn't matter as long as I don't get hit by the anvils. All right, someone challenge me. I forgot how to play this game, but someone challenge me. This one. And I get a free turn. Go again. That's right. I'm a professional. I'm professional beaner. I put those beans in that hole.
Damn. Wait.
What?
That's a slur? I've never heard of this word. Literally never heard of this. Good night, Balti. Thanks for sticking with me through the Warhammer reaction. That's a racial slur? No, Doki! I have no clue what it means, though.
Wait, what does that mean? I thought... Oh my god, what did I say?
Oh, is it a European slur? It's for Mexicans? Wait, I'm gonna look it up. Oh no, it is a derogatory slur used in the United States to target individuals of Mexican or Mexican-American heritage. It's considered highly offensive, and it's based on a stereotype regarding the consumption of beans in Mexican cuisine. Damn, you learn things every single day.
I'm Canadian. I'm Canadian. I just want to talk about beans. I just wanted to talk about beans and play with beans.
I mean, they are superfood.
I'm Canadian. I didn't know.
Me too. I'm Canadian.
No. I just wanted to talk about beans. So yeah, I'm winning though, at least. I said me. 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm getting the beans. Here's some of the cards. Blind Dad, thank you for the super chat.
You're still invited to the carnage.
Beans. I still won in the end. I am the master at beaning. I'm being very careful now that I
Why I can't defend One Piece anymore? I finally dropped it. I'm getting clickbaited. What's a carne asada? Dang Canucks. It's meat? Yeah, but a carne asada, he said, I'll invite you to the carne asada. It must be some kind of, like a celebration or something. Or like a barbecue. He said it like he was inviting her to a barbecue. Rema, why the long face? Well, I don't know. I'm just made like that, I guess. With lime. Yum, 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 yum. I love lime. Oh, it's a cookout. I fucking love this. I've never met any Hispanic in my community that is actually offended by the word. Now, Latinx, on the other hand, no. You mean they are offended by Latinx, or they are not? Thank you, David Martinez, for the super chat. The Mexican people in my community are also not offended by the word. Well, they don't want to. Oh, Latin X is not supposed to be a slur. It's supposed to be the right way to call them, but nobody likes it, is what I understood from it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody's offended by Latinx. Yeah. RC, wow, that's the spiciest model yet. Thank you so much for the member. Thank you for the 9 months. Holy shit. I'm glad you like it. People imposing their views on us is crazy. Yeah, I once worked with a marketing agency, and they were like, yeah, we need some latent, how do I call it? Latent X and stuff. I was like, oh no, you guys don't know. You guys are boomers, and you have no idea. You have no idea what you're doing. It's trying to remove the gender nouns that Spanish has. It's so stupid. We have gender nouns in French as well. Bye, Biter. Thanks for hanging out. It's an attempt to be gender neutral, but politics and cultural differences says no. A broad bunch of regards push for the words Latinx to call both genders, but our language is very masculine and feminine. Yeah, French is like that too. Like a table is feminine. There's different nouns. You just, like, other objects are male. It just, and it changes the words around it. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, I guess they're all from Latin, yeah. There's Latin E too? Shut up! That can't be. The French! Yeah, it's all just so stupid. Don't we have, like, bigger problems to attend to? And think about? Like fixing the economy. I think we should start with that. I don't want to pay that much for gas. Or my steaks. Not according to them, I don't know. It's not because I feel like the world is like all about feasibility, but it's not because you can do something that you should do it. My oil stocks are up 1000%, so I'm happy. There's no way your oil stocks are up. I don't believe that. I'm validating you, Reiko. I read all of your memes. It's all about war. crap, man. Like that one video that got spam reported on YouTube. I just realized that it had a sponsor in it, and I don't know how that's gonna affect the sponsor. Like, I might be fucked now. If we could just pull our resources into making cat girls, the world would be a better place. Also, calling us Latinx is like calling Rema a fox. Hell no! What do you mean? I like being called a fox. Oh yeah, looks like cover corp stocks are at all-time historic low. My condolences. I don't know why they keep free falling. Like, I don't get it. It sucks. Anyway, check out my Patreon if you want to support me. And yeah, I'm gonna go deal with all of that right now, because it's sort of a disaster. Thanks for the support. I hope you guys like the new model. And yeah, I'm gonna go handle these little issues. Love you guys. Take care, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Bye-bye.